San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And happy Wednesday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. He's Frank Marchese. Did not sit in traffic today. A lot better of a mood for Frank today. I will say, this week it's been like nobody on the road Monday, everybody on the road Tuesday, nobody on the road Wednesday, at least from my commute down to work, which is not a big one. It takes me about like 10 minutes to get to work.
The best part is you're always against the normal flow of traffic when you're coming in, which
actually that's
really is annoying for me, at least.
That's kind of like the entire day for me. So I'm driving 15 south at good times, by the way.
No envy here.
And then I'm going 15 north to, I got to get to Cathedral. So I'm going opposite 805. I go up 805 north when everybody's going south. The only traffic I run into during the day is 56 east, back to 15 south. The 56 east gets backed up going home from Cathedral. Or if I have a USD event, I will get stuck in some type of traffic on the 163 down to Genesee. But that's only sometimes. Now, on the weekends, it's great. I don't have to worry about it. Weekdays, like tonight, I got USD women's soccer. They play St. Mary's tonight. I don't have to go from practice, though, because our practice is later. So I will just not be at practice because I have to work. Some of us got to work, Frank, you know.
I don't have that notarized letter yet, so I can't hit you without getting in trouble, so I'm not going to do that.
I said only punch me in the face if I miss work for a men's softball tournament.
And I asked for it to be written, notarized.
Yeah, this is working, and then this is like I'm missing practice to go to work at USD. Women's soccer.
You didn't sound too upset about it before, to be fair.
No, not really. Not really. You know what? Know why? Because it's less stress of the day. If they would have made it at a different time again, like doing it back to back makes it more stressful because then I got to go from Scripps Ranch, Serra Mesa, Del Mar, Linda Vista. Or in this particular case, I don't have to go to Del Mar now. So I can just, I'm not driving all over San Diego in the Super Nutmobile, as my friends call it. So there's that.
Yeah.
What type of soccer are you putting on today?
Champions League.
Okay, Champions League. Good. You can give me updates then. You can give me updates, Lynn. All right, a couple of things I wanted to get into. A lot of people are talking about the Albert Pujols. We're going to fully dive into Albert Pujols today. Fully dive into the Albert Pujols potentially being the Padres manager. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Alden Gonzalez joined Gwynn Chris on Monday. A lot of good things about Albert Pujols to say. And my thing on the whole Albert Pujols situation, here's how I view this, okay? We have now come to a point with this Padres team and managers, and they've had a lot of different managers. They've had the veteran manager twice. The last two managers have been the veteran manager. One that had played in Major League Baseball and did okay. One that had never played professional baseball. Not that it really matters, but I'm going to get to that in a second. We have had the rookie managers in Jace Tingler and in Andy Green. And then we had, of course, Bud Black, kind of barely hanging on at the beginning part of this little stint of managers that the Padres have had. Plus, they had the interim guys and Dave Roberts and Pat Murphy, who are both in the NLCS. And, of course, Rod Barajas, who's also an interim manager. Those are all the men that have been in charge of this Padres team at some point in time during the A.J. Preller stint. Here's what I think. Here's the thing I think brings to the table with Albert Pujols. And people were talking about his ego and stuff as a player. I mean, he's older now. I know he was been out of the league only 2 years. But I think there's something to be said about winning the respect of Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., where they can't pull anything of like, you've never done this before, or you don't know what it's like to be a player, or like, you know, you never have played at a high level like we have. I mean, they haven't accomplished anything that Albert Pujols has accomplished. Nothing. They haven't, nothing. There might be a couple of like individual season accolades, but like you look at Albert Pujols' resume, how is anybody in the clubhouse going to be like, you don't know what you're talking about? Or like, you don't know what it's like to be in the box there. You don't know what it's like to do this. I think it's only going to bring good conversation. And I think they probably have a good relationship as it is. I mean, Albert Pujols was here like a couple of years ago for his daughter's birthday because his daughter's favorite player is Manny Machado. Or was at the time. Who knows? They're kids. Kids change their opinion all the time. But you look at Albert Pujols, right? He won a Rookie of the Year in his first year. He's a 3-time MVP, won the Gold Glove twice. He was the 3-time Major League Player of the Year, won the Roberto Clemente Award, 6-time Silver Slugger, 11-time All-Star, won a batting title, won the World Series twice, and was the NLCS MVP. He's got 703 home runs in the show, right? I mean, you've even heard Manny say that a couple of times, like, yeah, when you did hit 300 pumps in the show, let me know. The guy has doubled the amount. I know he's played a lot longer, but at the same time, Albert Pujols' resume is better than Manny Machado's and Fernando's at this point. So there's really nothing that could be said about Albert Pujols is going to be the big dog in that clubhouse. There's nobody that can outdo him in that clubhouse. Not one person. Not one. And to me, as Eric Grubner said in his interview with Bennett Woods, you got to be able to get some production out of the guys you currently have, and they have good players for slug, and they have good players that can put up power numbers, and that could go out there and contribute at a high level that you haven't seen the last couple of seasons. I think the only one that's going to be able to get those players to do that is a guy like Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols' career batting average is .296. His career batting average. 703 home runs. The guy knows how to hit. You don't think he's going to get people right in the clubhouse when it comes to hitting and offense? I know it's slightly different when it comes to a really good player trying to be a coach. But I'm telling you, you have to view this different than like regular X's and O's coaching or coaching you do at the high school or the college level where you're actually instructing. At the Major League Baseball level, at the MLB level, there's not a lot of instructing going on. There's some, but most of the time it's managing personalities. It's managing personalities. And that's what Albert Pujols is going to be tasked with doing, is managing the personalities of this team. Most notably, the two heavy hitters in Fernando and in Manny. Two guys that play for the Dominican Republic World Baseball Classic team who would probably, if Albert Pujols doesn't get hired as a manager, would be playing for Albert Pujols as the manager of the Dominican Republic. Just because he doesn't have the experience being a manager doesn't mean he doesn't command respect in that clubhouse. You've gone every other direction. The only thing you haven't hired yet is a really good player to be a manager. Might as well try that one out. And I think with a guy like Albert Pujols, and who knows what he would do to bring in a staff. Maybe it is Yadier Molina. Maybe they've had a conversation. Maybe that's why Yadi put up what he did on Instagram. This is about getting your players right. And the best way to do that, honestly, is by telling the players things from your experience. When I used to go through a slump, here's this. I mean, think about that from a perspective of like Fernando and his dad, right? How many times have we seen Junior go into a slump and have to wait until he talks to Senior before he gets out of said slump? And Fernando Tatis Sr. was a good ball player. He ain't Albert Pujols. This is why I think hiring Albert Pujols is the best person. This is the best guy for the job. Nobody's going to command more respect than him. Not one candidate is going to demand more respect than him. And here's the thing. I think, and you could look at other managers that are candidates, right? Like, I think it'd be a safe move to just hire Ruben Niebla. I think he would do a great job. That's why I have him as number 2. But I look at some of the other guys that could potentially be managers for the Padres. No disrespect for them. They ain't Albert Pujols. And I know you don't want to hire a manager just based on accolades that they did as a player because it's difference between coaching and playing. But right now, this team needs a guy like Albert Pujols. They don't need an instructional guy. They don't need a analytics guy. They don't need a, he knows how to push all the right buttons in the bullpen guy. They don't need that. In this day and age of Major League Baseball, the analytics department runs most of that stuff anyway. They need a guy that has been there and done that can lead this team and show leadership from a manager standpoint, because there's not a lot of leadership from the players. They collectively do their own things, right? And they have their little leadership committee, and that's all fine and nice. This is like having a Hall of Famer lead player on your team, so if he's not playing, he's just managing the club. Nobody knows how to get out of things more than Albert Pujols, right? When he's in a slump or anything like that, he could speak from experience. And I'm not really worried about the middle guys of the roster or the guys that are just hanging on. I'm worried about the superstars. You invested the money in Manny Machado. You invested the money in Fernando Tatis Jr. Those two in particular are the ones that go high and low with their energy levels and everything like that. This is the guy that's going to get them right, in my opinion. In my opinion. I think Mike Schilt was a great manager. I think if he ran it back again this year and didn't retire, despite what some of the reports were about how he was and his managerial style with his coaching staff, the Padres probably are a playoff team next year, regardless. But you need to get a fire under the asses of Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. if you want to be a successful team. That is the money that you'd spent. Those guys need to get right. This is the candidate for it. He's interviewing with the Padres today. That's going to be the main focus. I mean, to me, he is the home run hire. The Angels have announced that they're going with Kurt Suzuki. The Giants, according to Bob Nightingale, you can say what you want about Bob Nightingale, because a lot of people are like, oh, well, Bob Nightingale, he just says the wrong things. He put out the San Francisco Giants are expected to make their managerial hire official within the next 20 minutes. Next 20 minutes. That is an interesting tweet that is the most interesting tweet I've ever seen. In the next 20 minutes, the Giants are going to announce their manager. What is that? Really? Is that not an odd tweet to you, Frank? That seems odd to me. What an odd, in about 20 minutes or so.
And I think
a countdown?
Yeah. Well, I mean, when did he tweet that out?
That's a good question. I got it sent to me right before the show started. He tweeted out at 9:57. We should be ready to go here.
Yeah, I was just that they're probably waiting for the bottom of the hour. They're probably waiting for 10:30.
Britt Garoli just stole his thunder.
Oh,
Tony Vitello.
Well, yeah.
Will be the next San Francisco Giants manager.
I mean,
the Athletic first reported he was their top guy after Nick Hundley dropped out last week.
Who was that? Who was that took?
Britt Garoli.
He draws the foul.
Bob Nightingale was all over it. Why'd you steal his thunder like that?
That's on Britt, dude. Britt was waiting. Britt was lying in the weeds, waiting to pounce on Bob. Got you. Don't be dropping those 20 minutes.
Phrasing.
I'm going to get you on 19. Get your head out of the gutter, dude. It's too early for that. Can you stop? Foul on Frankfurt. Head in the gutter.
He draws the foul.
We'll let you know if we see any updates on the Albert Pujols. I mean, he's interviewing today. He could have already done it at 8 in the morning. It's already 10:15. Maybe he's doing it later. Maybe they're getting lunch. I don't know. He's supposedly interviewing for the Padres managerial job today. I think he's the guy for the Padres. And he's younger and more recent. And I'm telling you right now, coaching kids, okay, high school kids, they don't know older players. They don't even know. Most of the team I have, this is going to rock your mind. They don't even really know who LT was. They don't even know. I've never saw him play. Don't know anything about it, right?
I believe that 100%. Are you kidding?
Right. So like Adam Paul, like Don Mattingly can do what Albert Pujols can't. No, he can't because nobody on this team is going to know who Don Mattingly is.
Did you see?
Nor are they going to care.
Did you see the Open for the NBA on NBC last night? They asked a bunch of current players what was their best memories of the NBA on NBC in the 90s. Half of them didn't even know, weren't even born in the 90s.
No, I was born in 95. I'm 30. So I'd be old in the NBA. The only one that can really answer that question is LeBron. But yeah, they're not going to know who Don Mattingly is, nor are they going to care. Albert Pujols? Oh, I know who that is. I asked, like, it's funny, like, I asked the kids that I coach about, like, running. They think, like, Marshawn Lynch is, like, the greatest running back to ever live. I'm like, bro, what? Go watch LaDainian Tomlinson. I don't know. Why don't you go watch Emmitt Smith? And then after you watch all of those, watch the best running back that ever lived and Barry Sanders. And then come back to me and tell me that Barry Sanders is not better than Marshawn Lynch. Go ahead. Try to do it. I'm telling you. They're not going to be able to do it. This is the best guy. Yes, Dane, we did say that. I like Tony Vitello. I don't know how he's going to do at the major league level. To me, like him being him managing a bunch of college kids and having like unlimited resources have made him very good. I don't know how he's going to do managing a Major League Baseball team. I'll tell you what, he's fiery though. You're going to see him yell at the umpires a lot.
I think he's the first ever manager now officially that is coming straight from college to the pros without having like an on-staff coaching role first. I think he's the first manager to go from manager to straight to manager.
I mean, Macias was that guy, just not as a manager. I mean, he went from Vanderbilt to the Padres. It's such a different game at the college level than it is in the pro level. Based on, my experience of having to watch college baseball, it's just a different game.
Glad Posey made the move. Guaranteed success since they won the 2025 trade deadline.
It's true. And Tennessee won the national championship in baseball 2 years ago. They're on to something up there in San Francisco. That guy probably is almost taking a pay cut to be the manager of the Giants. That's how much money he was making in Tennessee. Because he was making like $3 to $4 million. He was making more than most managers in Major League Baseball. Tony Vitello. I did watch the NBA last night, Frank. I will talk about that. The production by NBC, top notch. I have to say, top notch. They just felt like playoff games, and it was game one of the season.
Game one of a completely meaningless regular season.
Correct, because 16 teams make the playoffs, and none of them play until the postseason anyway. And it seemed like a playoff game, though. Maybe it was just because it was the opening game. But I watched both the Thunder and Rockets and the Warriors and the Lakers. I tell you what, it was Mike Tirico on the basketball call. Money. They made it seem like a big deal. It felt like Sunday Night Football. You know what? I might have to tune into the NBC broadcast of the NBA this year. We have the music, don't we? All right, I'm fired up now. I didn't like the NBA, but this gets you going for a big game. Let me tell you. Yeah. NBA's back. Don't care about the NBA at all. You put this song on for an opening broadcast, guess who's tuned in? This guy. I'll watch any of those NBA games on NBC. I will not do it on Peacock. I'm not purchasing Peacock, but I will do it on NBC. And Mike Tirico. Are you kidding me? That was money. We'll talk more about that later on the show. Let's get back to Albert Pujols when we come back. He's interviewing for the Padres managerial job today. We'll discuss a little bit further and what Alden Gonzalez said on Gwynn and Chris earlier this week. We'll replay for you as we continue on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 to the Fan. All guests on 97 to the Fan join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. And visit davidpshapirolaw.com. I know we had like a new copy of that. Was that because Ben accidentally said criminal charges for Grupner before he like brought him in because he was joining on the hotline and it was like a flub?
What?
Yeah, that sucks. I was getting all these texts about it. I'm like, what? Poor Ben.
Nice.
Because it was like, I was like, oh, no wonder we have a new copy. No, he's not. He doesn't have any criminal charges.
Ben, flub some more of these liners so they get shorter. There's no reason to read an essay every single time we're trying to promote something.
I don't understand why the Toyota of Poway liner has the same thing twice in a row.
What?
You haven't noticed that?
No.
Here's the Toyota of Poway liner because we do it once an hour. It's brought to you by Toyota of Poway, voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today. Toyota of Poway has been voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today. Back to back. But that's how the copy is. It's not your fault, but that's how the copy is. Why is the copy like that? Why say it twice?
Well, we're not going to say it twice anymore.
Ben pulling a real Ron Burgundy. I'm Ron Burgundy. Nice.
Brother went with the Ben Burgundy.
Ben Burgundy. Wow. Okay, well.
All right, so now the Toyota Poway liner's been fixed.
But the thing is, it's like do you have the, do you have the jurisdiction on that? Are you allowed to do that? Do you have the free range to
If
edit
it's
copies?
the same sentence back to
Maybe
back.
they want it back to back.
Anyone who
I will
wants to
make
read
fun of them for it, but I don't know why it would be back to back. Yeah, we got it. You got voted #1 by USA Today. That's great.
You
Good
know
for
what?
Toyota of Poway. Why would you go to any other car dealership?
I will do and beg for forgiveness instead of ask for permission.
Feels good. Isn't that why you got talked to yesterday? Ooh.
No. You know, because you had the same conversation.
That's right. Mine was better though.
Mine was better.
I think there was some built-in New York Mets jersey wearing.
Mom said mine was better.
That's right. How about that? Real quick on the NBA last night. I actually enjoyed watching the game last night on the broadcast. I thought the broadcast last night was great. I thought LeBron's glasses were hilarious, by the way. I could not take him seriously with the glasses he was wearing last night. Did you watch any of the NBA on NBC?
No, I did not.
I would not. I wasn't going to watch. And then I was like, oh, wait, they got MJ on this thing? And the music's back? It's on NBC? I was like, I got to watch this.
I saw the Open because everyone posted the Open. But I did not see.
Because I got home from practice and it was already like the fourth quarter. I think there was like 6 minutes left in the game.
It's on awful announcing. It's fantastic. The opening is fantastic.
I just love the music. I thought the production was great, though. I mean, the production was so good as a broadcast that it made me want to watch more NBA games. It was so much better than ESPN and all the other entities that have broadcasted the NBA.
Speaking of which, I forgot to change that. I was so preoccupied with getting the soccer on.
Yeah, you supported the mouse for a whole 28 minutes right there.
Yeah, well, now can't do that either because, a replay of the Kings Blues game is blacked out on NHL networks. That's cool.
I don't mind Good Morning Football. So
there you go.
Maybe you should put the Good Morning Football on that TV so I can see it and you can watch the soccer.
I tried to do that yesterday, but we are
work.
apparently not signed into our Samsung account on the TV in front of me.
I don't think it's our account. I think it's Tony Gwynn Jr.'s account. You can thank him then.
Samsung account, not the Paramount. The Paramount account is mine. Mm-hmm. It's the Samsung account that we need to be able to download apps onto the TV across from me and not the TV across from you.
How many people are Lakers fans? Like, really? I know Tony is. I know there's a lot of people in San Diego that are Laker fans. They've always been Laker fans because we never had a team for a long period of time. They couldn't hit a 3 last night to save their life. Seems like the stereotypical Lakers.
I was a little of the very little.
Marcus Smart had 4 fouls in the first 5 minutes of the game. He chucked Steph Curry to the ground.
Of the very little bit that I saw last night, my critique is such a nitpicky critique. I wish they would have had like the old style in the lower right corner score bug. That always looked so clean. And
Somebody
now with it
said
being
that.
in the middle, I mean, it looks good. It looks fine. But the nostalgia of that lower right clean score bug, that's just too good to not have.
Yeah, it was. I thought the production was good. I mean, I'm not going to tell you the X's and O's of the basketball game last night, but I tell you what, it was pretty good production on the NBA. I mean, I sat through both games, watched them both. Didn't have any baseball to watch. I guess I could have watched West Kentucky, Louisiana Tech, and some college football on a Tuesday night.
The other game was better. I forget what the other
That
game was.
targeting
but it
call
was
on the Louisiana
close.
Tech game was a joke, by the way. Absolute joke. Targeting in general is a joke. Every time new rule. I want to hear this. I want a rule here. Every time you call a targeting penalty and you kick a kid out of a game, I want the ref to firmly and directly explain the proper technique of what the kid was supposed to do instead. I want him to demonstrate for us how he was expecting the kid to make the tackle, because a lot of the times there is none. There's no like, well, he should have just not hit him that hard.
Oh, you definitely should have been watching the other game.
I just cannot. I cannot fathom targeting. It is the dumbest penalty in all of sports. It is the dumbest penalty.
It was Kennesaw State versus Florida Worldwide. Florida Worldwide was in the Miami.
Oh, the Miami Vice.
Uniforms too.
I was sent that multiple times. And the field, I love the Miami Vice look for Florida Worldwide. Watching on my fridge, good point. I watched basketball and still Steph Curry had 1 point. # price picks. That's basically what the NBA is for.
Did you see what one parlay for a guy
That Toronto guy?
Yes.
He put $93 down.
Put 90
for the Eagles to win the NFC Championship game.
To make the Super Bowl.
For the Maple Leafs to win the conference.
To win the Atlantic Division.
Just win the division.
Yes, win the division.
For the Blue Jays to win the American League Championship Series, which, by the way, was the highest odds. And then what was the other one that he had?
For Team Canada to win the Four Nations.
For Team Canada to win the Four Nations face-off. And when they win Game 7, he won $130,000.
He won
$103,000.
He won $100,314, and don't you dare forget about those 64 cents.
That's before taxes, though. I wonder what the taxes are like in Canada for that.
I wonder if he's even going to get paid, because FanDuel and DraftKings have a long history of, when people win big like that, trying to finagle their way out of paying said payoff.
So
I wonder if he gets that money at all.
I don't know. It was like one of those FanDuel bets, right? Those are usually like immediate cash out. Now, how he's going to get the money via checks or direct deposit might be crazy.
It'll show that it cashed out, but there have been people that have sued both companies because when they try to redeem their cash out, they go, "Oh no, it was a mistake. You shouldn't have gotten that much." So no, it was like a false bet.
Change the odds on it.
Exactly.
That's why you don't make bets.
Exactly.
Why you don't make bets. All right.
The house always wins.
The house will always win, even in sports betting, apparently. Let's talk about Albert Pujols when we come back. Alden Gonzalez had some clips that we want to break down from Gwynn and Chris on Monday. What type of manager could Albert Pujols be? How strong is the Manny Machado-Fernando Tatis Jr. connection? And how important is that for hiring a new manager? We'll discuss when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. Braden Surprenant show on San Diego Norwood Sports Station 97.3. The Fan taking up to 2 o'clock today, and Gwynn and Chris before the Matt Scraby show. Matt Scraby show. Take a dive in the Scrabistan. What else do they call that place? What do they call them? What do they call it? The Chronicles? The Scraby Chronicles?
I believe so, yes.
I want to know when he's going to bring you in as a guest host on a gripe.
Bring me? Oh, we go back to last off season.
I know, but when are they going to bring you in again?
Every Wednesday. I have no idea.
We need a celebrity gripe. Actually, that'd be kind of a fun segment on Scraby's show. Like once a week, have the celebrity gripe, where like somebody different from all our shows comes in and just bitches about something. I'd be down for that. I got tons of things to bitch about. Let me just get this off my chest. It could be like the therapy session with Scrape. I'm just saying. It's not a bad idea. We'll start at 6 o'clock today. No preemption, nothing. I mean, we got Thursday Night Football tomorrow. People in the YouTube chat talking about how cheap of a ticket you can get to the Chargers-Vikings game on Thursday.
Cool.
LA, dude, they're locked into the Dodgers, man. Care about the Chargers. Is the San Diego kid going to lead the charge against the team that bolted out of San Diego? Maybe.
Ha!
Maybe.
I see what you did there.
Some of us are creative.
That was funny.
You know what grinds my gears? Clay in the South Bay. Scraby has plenty of gripes. I mean, he's able to just keep that thing going almost every day.
I mean, let's be honest here. I think it'd be pretty easy for any of us to keep that segment going.
Yeah, I firmly believe that. Okay, let's talk about Albert Pujols. Getting back on track. Okay, we're going to talk about some of these questions here in a second, but I do want to hear from Alden Gonzalez, who was on Gwynn and Chris on Monday, to kind of refocus since Albert Pujols is interviewing for the Padres managerial job today. I don't know what time. They could have already done it. He could still be doing it. He could start at noon. I don't know when the time is, but he apparently is in town interviewing for the Padres managerial job. What has Alden Gonzalez heard about Albert Pujols and specifically the San Diego Padres? This again is from Monday. Here is what Alden Gonzalez said on Gwynn and Chris.
Yeah, there are a lot of managerial openings this offseason, and Albert Pujols has been a pretty prime figure in this. We thought for a while that he was the front runner to get the Angels job, and it looks like that's just not going to happen. They've stopped talking. There's been a breakdown in terms of compensation, but maybe also in philosophy and what they want to do or what their visions are. At this point, that's not going to happen, and they've extended their search out to other people. And yeah, Albert Pujols is going to interview with the Padres on Wednesday. He's also drawn interest from the Orioles, though there's no interview scheduled there. And as it relates to the Padres specifically, look, as soon as the news came out that Mike Schill was retiring from his position, Albert Pujols was somebody who was, pointed out to by a lot of people in the industry about, hey, somebody who might be a fit for a role like this. Obviously, like the two key guys in that clubhouse, Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., they would probably vouch for him as manager. Now, how far will that ultimately take him? I don't know. But, the fact that he's going to sit down and interview, I think, to me, the bigger thing here, whether or not he gets this job, whether or not he gets the Orioles job or some other job this offseason, it's pretty clear that Albert Pujols is being looked at as a serious managerial candidate. Even though he's outside of a stint in winter ball, he hasn't really done this before. I think it's pretty clear at this point that at some point, whether it's this offseason or another one, he's going to manage in the big leagues.
I think he is for sure. I think eventually he's going to get an opportunity to manage in the big leagues.
I
Whether or
heard
not it's with the Padres is different.
I heard something very interesting in that.
What
That
was
there
it?
was a breakdown in communication between the Angels and Pujols,
Mhm.
and a breakdown in compensation.
Correct.
This is a guy who, before Mike Trout came in, made your franchise relevant, and you couldn't break the bank to pay this guy to bring him back home.
Maybe a
What are you
disagreement on
doing?
philosophy too. This is why when you said like I don't know, he's more likely to get the Angels job. I was like, no, because they're incompetent.
Yeah,
The Angels
that
are
proves it right
incompetent.
there.
They are incompetent. They are cheap. For an organization that has money and spends money on war, just gives it away. They get cheap. They let a nickel hold up a dollar up in Anaheim all the time.
I mean, that's just embarrassing. If you were not willing to pay Albert Pujols, who put you back on the map as far as relevancy before Mike Trout got there.
Well, let's give the Angels the benefit of the doubt here on one thing. That could happen with the Padres too. I mean, he might want a ton of money or something ridiculous,
But-
and it's just like, okay, well, this isn't going to work.
But
And they were
again,
already paying him.
he's never played here though. You're not asking a former player to come in and do the job.
So you're
A
saying
former
if
for a future Hall of Famer come in and do the job.
well, let's say in like 20, like Manny would never want to be a manager, but in 25 years, 30 years.
If you're trying to nickel and dime Manny Machado,
Yeah, but you don't know how much Pujols is asking for. Is my opinion? Is my point? Like you're just gonna give him whatever he wants just because he was a part of your organization? I mean, if he asked for
I'd be a little bit
ton,
closer to his number than mine.
yeah, but at the same time, like we just don't know. I mean, we could go through this entire process today with Albert Pujols, and then he's like, "I want $15 million a year," and the Padres will like kick rocks.
Everyone will tell him to kick rocks at that point.
Right, exactly. So you don't know how much he asked for. Now, if he asked for like $3 million and the Angels didn't want to budge on 2.75, yeah, I would agree with you. But I don't until you know the numbers. It's hard.
That
It's
just
hard
sounds
to say.
off. That to me sounds problematic to me.
But just knowing the Angels, it's probably something insignificant.
Yeah.
So yes, I do agree to a certain extent. To be fair though, until you get the details on how much he wanted and how much they were willing to offer, which you might never know, it's hard to just be like, I can't believe they didn't pay this guy. I mean, if it's a ridiculous amount of money, you could be like, okay, I understand why they wouldn't pay this guy.
That news always has a funny sort of way of finding its way out. Though.
Yeah. I mean, you'll see it. It's like, oh, once he gets hired, well, how much did they offer you in the Anaheim? They actually offered me less. What was his contract with the Angels? That was like a 10-year deal after he was done playing?
I think so.
He was done playing in 2022, so he's still under contract, right? Or he was, technically. I wonder if they thought, like, well, we're already paying you, so we're only going to give you like $1 million or something. I could totally see that being the case.
Oh, boy.
Like, with that contract, like, is that money guaranteed? Like, if the Padres hire Albert Pujols, do they have to buy him out of the contract from the Angels since he's technically under contract with the Halos? Like, I don't. That's an interesting gray area that I haven't really heard about yet, and I'm sure it'll come out closer to Pujols being hired as a manager for any team because of this whole weird part of his deal where he had to spend the next 10 years as a whatever it's called. What is he, an advisor or something, or like
I believe so, some sort of ambassador for the team.
They had to ask the permission, right? Yeah, but like, I'm curious if there's a buyout to the contract. That's my question. I don't know if there is or not. There could be. I mean, the Padres might have to fork up money to the Angels for this to happen. So, or maybe so maybe that's the case. They have to do just some negotiation with the Halos. I'm sure that will end out. I'm sure that will be a smooth process with Artie Moreno up there. All right. Alden Gonzalez also talked about because here's a big question. When talking about Albert Pujols, and we won't have time to really dive into the questions that you put on the sheet. We'll get to that in the next segment. But a big question a lot of people have is like they don't want to see this team with a brand new manager again. I view this differently. Like Albert Pujols as a brand new manager to me is a lot different than Jace Tingler and Andy Green and guys that haven't had the resume that Albert Pujols has had at the major league level. I think there's a respect thing there. So a lot of people that might be on the fence of like, we can't let this team be managed by a first-time manager. Why has Albert Pujols been so coveted with no experience? Here's what Alden Gonzalez had to say.
Yeah, it's a fair question. I think number one, Albert Pujols has always been somebody as a player who was revered by other players, and I think that carries a long way. And I think Albert also was known as somebody throughout his career who was a very intelligent baseball player, somebody who was very instinctual, somebody who knew how to navigate a game. I think that the combination of those two things go a long way with him. But also, I do think that what he did in winter ball opened up some eyes. Tony, I'm not sure if you ever played in winter ball. I apologize for not knowing that, but not in the Dominican. Okay.
No.
That is an insane atmosphere. These people there are baseball crazy in the Dominican. You go through like a 3-game losing streak and people want you fired. Okay. Like that. You talk about like the pressure cooker. Winter ball in the Dominican Republic is it. And the fact that he navigated that and his team, the Leones, got off to a really bad start. And for him to eventually like win the championship, like I think that opened up a lot of eyes. He's already been named the manager for the Dominican Republic. And I think also too, like the name Albert Pujols carries a lot of weight. So if you're an owner
no doubt.
who wants to make a splash, create headlines, like, yeah, you hire Albert Pujols. So I think that's why he's where he's at right now. But yeah, you're right. It's been a super rapid ascent, much faster than I would have imagined, but it's here.
I agree with that. A lot of it. I mean, I think you could take some of that with a grain of salt, but the passion down there, it's not like he's just, his managerial experience is managing a travel ball team. It's still professional baseball. It's still high stakes. It might not be as much money, but down there, it matters. And the fact that they started off really poorly and they roared back to win a potential championship is not something to scoff at or be elitist to, Frank.
No, I don't think so either. And he said it right out of the gate that he's a guy that players all throughout the league respected him while he played. So there's no reason why that thought wouldn't carry to him being a manager.
How long is this next clip?
Minute 55.
Oh, we're kind of close. We'll probably play that in the 11 o'clock hour. But to me, like after listening to a couple clips from Alden Gonzalez, I mean, again, it's more and more I'm on board with they need to hire this guy. I like him as a candidate more than a lot of other potential candidates out there. I think they could still, again, go with the safe bet of Ruben Niebla and not really change too much from an organization that has made the playoffs for the last 6 years. But to me, if you want to make a big difference, you want to make a splash, and you want to get the most out of your stars that you paid for, Albert Pujols is the right play. After all of this, who is your number one that you would like to see get hired as a Padres manager?
Albert.
Still Albert Pujols. Yeah, it is. But I just like I don't understand. I get the whole like inexperience thing that scares people because they're used to Jace Tingler and Andy Green. You have to view this as the apples and oranges situation of those guys were new managers and their coaches, but they had never achieved what Albert Pujols achieved at the highest level. I mean, sometimes like just playing in Major League Baseball is hard. I mean, it's hard to get like Major League Baseball players to be your manager, like former MLB guys. And a lot of the guys that do it are not guys that were like superstars because the superstar guys made a ton of money and just want to relax, live their life. But you have an opportunity for a guy that really wants to be a manager in Major League Baseball. A guy loves the sport, made a ton of money. He's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he wants to manage your club. To me, it's yes. And also at the same time, if you look at all the jobs in baseball, if you offer that, you're going to get him. I bet you he's going to sign here to be a manager over Baltimore or anybody else, even for money. I mean, he doesn't need the money. Now, maybe he needs a little bit of compensation because he told the Angels that they were way off. But out of all the jobs that are available, and the Giants just hired Tony Vitello, so that one's off the board, the Padres have the best job available, and it's not even close. And so for me, I think it's a no-brainer to hire Albert Pujols. I think it's a no-brainer. And you know what? It either works or it doesn't. But I think from the main standpoint of things for this organization in the last handful of years, The reason why they haven't won a World Series has not been the manager. The players need to be able to step up. And to me, Albert Pujols is going to be the guy that's going to get the most out of the superstars. And right now, as an organization, you need to get the most out of what you paid for and in the superstars. That's what hurt you throughout most of the season. When we come back, we got one more clip to play about Albert Pujols. We'll talk a little bit more about it and get your phone calls on what you think about Pujols being the Padres manager. Maybe.
Hey, it's Ben and Woods. Sometimes
All guests on 97 to the Fan. Join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Talking a lot about Albert Pujols today because he's interviewing for the Padres managerial job today. Don't know what time it was or if it's even happened yet, but today was the day that the Padres were interviewing Albert Pujols. We will try to keep you updated on what the interview process was like and any type of reports that we may get as it comes about. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I think Albert Pujols is the right man for the job. I really do. I think a lot of things that managers do are overrated. I think the most important thing that you need to do as a manager in baseball is get your guys ready to play and managing personalities. To me, that is the most important thing. You could talk about the X's and O's. You could talk about managing a bullpen all you want. At the end of the day, you need your players to go out there and perform. Second-guess things when it doesn't happen. I think a lot of fear, obviously, of a first-time manager is like, is he going to be able to make that decision to bring Mason Miller in the 6th inning when the game is actually on the line then instead of saving him for the 9th inning that might never come? I mean, we'll see. I mean, if Jace Tingler was good at that, but like couldn't get the guys to play well, does it really matter? I mean, I'd rather have a manager that's going to get the players that you invested in playing at the best level that they possibly can. That is what this team needs. They've spent the money. We've talked about like where they need to improve in certain areas. A lot of the issues with the Padres could be solved with the players that they paid to play a lot better than they did last year. That's a very simple solution for them. They've spent the money. They need the players to play. I think a lot of fans agreed with that after the conclusion of the series in Chicago. So what do you got to do? You got to find somebody that can get them to do that. And so when they do that, it should be a very positive thing. And to me, Albert Pujols is the man that can potentially do that. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's play the last clip from Alden Gonzalez because we ran out of time in the first hour. He joined Gwynn and Chris on Monday to talk about the Albert Pujols situation. And this is what he had to say about what Pujols may want as a manager.
I don't know that. I wish I did.
Yeah.
I think Albert wants to win. I think that's first and foremost.
Yeah, that might be the thing with the
I-
Angels. Yeah.
Well, absolutely. And I think, too, and this is not an Albert-specific thing, but this is like anybody who's going to be a first-time manager. There are a lot of times that your first situation could really set up what your managerial career can be. And if you go into a situation where you're not really set up for success, that could hinder you for the rest of your career. Like if it goes really poorly in a place, even if you are Albert Pujols, it's going to be hard for you to generate momentum again to get hired. So, and I think there was legitimate interest on the part of Albert Pujols to be the Angels manager. There was. I think also the fact that like his kids are in the Orange County area plays a part in it as well. But it's an organization that he knows. But I think having the infrastructure in place to succeed, having commitment from ownership that you're going to spend is definitely going to play a part. And honestly, as somebody like Albert, who I would imagine is a little bit more old school in how he approaches the game, I think having autonomy, or at least as much autonomy as you can get in today's game, in terms of what goes on in a game, setting your lineup, bullpen decisions, all that stuff, I think that will go a long way too. And having said that, I think that would be an advantage for the Padres. And Tony, you could speak to this, but from what I've heard from people who have worked there, one thing about the Padres is if you're a manager, they give you leeway. Like you manage a game the way you want to. You set your lineup, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's been my understanding.
Yeah.
Like managers set the lineup, they make the bullpen decisions, and like that is definitely something that Albert would want.
He wants to make those decisions, Frank.
As I would as well if I were the manager.
Otherwise,
of a Major
what's the
League
point
Baseball
of
team.
what's the point of you being
Exactly
that guy? Well, let's talk about that for a second. I mean, when you look at the potential of whatever, Albert Pujols being the manager, right? Albert Pujols being a first-time manager. What are you worried about? Can he manage the bullpen, right?
Yeah.
In that particular sense.
You're looking at game management stuff.
Game management stuff. For all the reasons that we pointed out, it makes Albert Pujols a great manager in terms of or could potentially be a great manager in getting the most out of his guys, especially the superstars, right? Being able to relate to them in a lot of different ways. I mean, think about that from a standpoint, Frank. There are not a lot of players or people on this planet that can relate to the superstars on this baseball team. Where they came from, what they came from, what their expectations are, what people's expectations are of them, what the Padres organization expectations are of them. I mean, there's not a lot of that. How many people can say they know exactly what it's like being like Manny Machado? Not a lot. You know who can say that? Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols can do that. I think Albert Pujols has played in the game long enough where he can make a lineup. I think he's played in the game long enough where he can manage a bullpen. I mean, these are kind of risks that you could take, but there's no such thing as a perfect solution to this. To me, I think the best path forward is who is going to come in and is going to push Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr. to the best that they can be. That, to me, is the guy that you have to hire. And then they'll help them with the managerial decisions. That's how I view this. That's how I view this candidacy. That's how I view this hiring process. That's the person, to me, that's going to take the Padres to the next level. It's going to take the Padres to the World Series. And it's going to take the Padres to a place that they have never been before and hopefully holding a World Series trophy. That, to me, is the most important. I'd love to see Yadier Molina as the bench coach. I'd love to see it. I don't know what Albert Pujols is going to do with his staff, but maybe he can rely a little bit on his staff to help him with some of those decisions. He could also be a guy that brings in a veteran manager to be his bench coach to help with some of that stuff. A guy that doesn't really want to be a manager anymore, take the responsibilities of that, but can also help Albert Pujols as he makes his way. I'm excited about this. I think this might be a good play for the Padres. Guys won 2 championships in the Dominican Winter League. How much do you value that? I think that's important, Frank. I think it's important to have some experience managing baseball in general. And we heard from Alden Gonzalez, that's a very difficult place to manage games.
Yeah, he's won the Dominican Winter League. He's won the Caribbean League in just 1 year. Now, I put this on our sheet here. I wonder how much of a hindrance him locking himself in as the manager for the Dominican Republic team this offseason in the World Baseball Classic. He did it in last year's WBC, had a solid run, so he has managed some of these players before already. But he's already committed to being the manager for the Dominican Republic for the 2026 WBC. So how much does that also affect and add questions to possibly him getting not just the Padres managerial job, but any managerial job? Because it's kind of hard to build continuity as the manager if you're going to be gone for pretty much the entirety of spring training.
Well, he said if he gets hired as a manager, he's not going to manage the Dominican.
Well, that's good then. That's fair.
Yeah, he said that already. So you don't have to worry about that. That would be a problem, though. But at the same time, here's the other thing, too. He's going to be building continuity. This Padres team's got a lot of guys that's going to play for their countries.
Yes.
Manny Machado, I don't know if they have announced. I mean, we haven't seen the announcements yet for the WBC, but I tell you what,
they wouldn't have started building teams just yet.
But they've had guys announced. There's been a handful of Americans that have already said they want to play on the team.
They want to play. It doesn't mean they've officially locked themselves in.
Yeah, but they're high-level guys that if they
I understand.
want to, they will make the team.
No, I understand.
Right. So and I don't know.
I'm just saying there's no official rosters yet.
Well, yeah,
That's
you're
all
not
I'm
going to
saying.
know that until the springtime. But when Xander Bogaerts goes, I'm playing for the Dutch. He's playing for the Dutch. He will be on the team. It's just whether or not he wants to play again. I bet you he does. He's going to play for the Netherlands. He always does. I bet you're going to see Manny Machado playing for the Dominican. I'm curious to see if Fernando plays for the Dominican, to be honest with you. Because he hasn't been able, he was suspended the last time. He wasn't able to play for them. He can now. I would imagine he probably wants to.
I'd be more surprised if he didn't, honestly.
Is Jackson Merrill going to play for Team USA?
I'd
love to see it.
I think so.
I'd love to see it.
Who else would be in center field? I mean,
well, it's just a bunch of. I mean, the American team's always different because they don't get a lot of guys that. But I think more want to play now when you got guys like Mike Trout that say I'm in and stuff like that. I mean, if you look at the Padres roster, there's a handful of those guys that.
Yeah, I mean, it's your opportunity to do like what the NBA does, where you play on a super team and you play for your country too. You have your country on your country on your chest. Which, I mean, this is the only opportunity that you have to do that. They would move. Brandon brings up a good point with Pete Crow Armstrong, but I would say they would move Judge to right, if anything.
Yeah, I don't think Judge is going to play center on that team. But you got a lot of players that are from a lot of different. Like, you're not going to worry about Robert Swart. Like, is Adrian Morejon playing for Cuba? Is he going to pitch for Cuba?
Anytime, especially we saw it with hockey, and that's what made the Four Nations tournament so successful this year. Anytime you get that rare opportunity to play for your country instead of your team, players are gonna take it, and they're going to treat it as if it is the World Series. You play differently for your country than you do for your team.
I hope Adrian said no. I don't really want to see a lot of pitchers out there. If I have to see a pitcher, though, a bullpen guy is not the worst because he doesn't have to throw a lot. But, like, you start going down the list of guys that are on, like, Nick Pivetta, is he pitching for Canada? Is he going to play for Canada? I mean, you have the possibility of missing a handful of players. Wandy Peralta, Randy Vasquez, part of our Dominican players. Fernando Tatis Jr., Dominican player. I mean, Manny Machado is born in the United States, but he always plays for the Dominican. Who else? Like Ramon Laureano. That's another guy that could play for the Dominican. Freddie Fermin going to play for Venezuela. So, I mean, there's a lot of guys that they might be missing coming up in the springtime. But overall, again, the more we get updates on Albert Pujols, the more we will pass them along on this particular interview today. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show. And when we come back, we'll take your phone calls. What do you think about Albert Pujols potentially being the Padres manager? We'll talk about it. Get your phone calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973 on the back end. And Aztecs football, 6 games in. How do we evaluate them before they get to the Battle of the Oil Can? Old oil can this weekend. Talk some Aztec football this hour, too. Braden Surprenant Show, standing as number sports station 97 through the Fan. Can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. All right. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. I saw everybody's favorite troll on Twitter. What was it? Dan Clark or something like that. Everybody hates him, right? Frank?
So I've been told.
He had a tweet last night that had me LOLing.
That's cool.
I was laughing.
LOL out loud.
I physically laughed out loud. I gotta go look it up. I thought it was so funny. It was such a troll. I mean, you have to learn to laugh at yourself sometimes. So he put out, where is it? Yeah, here it is. Come on. I know we don't like this guy. This is kind of diabolical. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
Just walked into the lids. Tagged lids in it.
Oh, yes. I saw this.
Just walked into the lids at Fashion Valley. He has to put San Diego in there. They have sold out of Blue Jays hats.
Not only did he tweet that,
he then retweeted the tweet.
he retweeted his own tweet. Hold on. So,
oh man.
So hold on. The original tweet, he retweeted his original tweet at the same exact time that he tweeted it.
He didn't get the engagement he thought he's going to get. He's like, "Are you sure it's funny?"
No. The original tweet was at 3:42 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
The retweet is at 3:42 p.m. So he just insta retweeted.
That is hilarious. So funny. There's no way anybody. I mean, if you can't be that petty about it. What inspired me was Brandon in the chat's like, speaking of countries, I'm rooting for Canada in the World Series. I think everybody in baseball is rooting for Canada in the World Series.
Toronto Blue Jays, America's
You want to bring
team.
Canada and the United States together? Have Toronto play the Dodgers. All united now. Forget about the Four Nations face-off. We're all together now.
Toronto, America's team.
America's team, Toronto Blue Jays. Absolutely.
By the way, I'm seeing this on Twitter right now. Tomorrow, not just tomorrow, but tomorrow and Friday, you are not going to get Ben and Woods tomorrow and Friday.
Right. Yeah, they're on vacation.
From 6 to 8 a.m., you are going to get the best of Ben and Woods.
Mm-hmm.
And then from 8 to 10 in the morning,
off-season Sammy,
we get Sam Levitt.
Wow. Is he going to talk about Arizona State football?
He kind of has to at this point.
I mean, he has to. He has to pay off the bit. I want to hear Sam's take on everything but Padres. I need a full college football segment. I need his take on the NBA. I need his take on the NFL.
He was big on the NBA during the playoffs this past year. As he usually is, but
I want to be able to hear all that.
What press conference do you want to hear tomorrow?
He wants to hear that they're hiring Albert Pujols. That's what he wants to hear.
Oh.
Let's get the opinions of the fans on Albert Pujols. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Starting off with our guy, Rod. Rod in San Diego, what's going on, brother? What's for lunch today, big dog?
Yo. Hey, let me get my shout-outs to the chat fam right away. Let me get that out of the way, Braden. Shout-out to the chat fam. And good morning to both of you, Braden and Frank. For lunch, I just picked up some tacos del gordo, driving back to the office. And, just got the haircut, too. So looking mighty fresh, I might say. And I'm ready to talk about Mr. Pujols and what he's going to bring to the dugout there for us. So instant credibility, player buy-in right away, his strategic expertise in high-pressure situation, and then for the Padres and for the city, cultural and marketing boost. It's going to be huge, man. And then I hope he could bring Yachty into the bench coach position with the Padres, and it's going to be a good little click in there, man. It's gonna really raise some eyebrows all over Major League Baseball, and it'll be a good thing. and I'll listen off the air, man. But love the show, guys, and thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it, Rod. Before you hang up, dude, I got a question for you.
Go for it.
I thought you asked Nate about lunch today going to Phil's at 11. Did he not show up, and now you had to go to Tacos El Gordo? What's going on, man? People in the chat want to know.
Priority was haircut, and I gotta switch that up. I gotta switch up that date for Friday. So Nate, if you're listening, let's do Friday, bro.
Well, you better hope that he goes Friday, because Gonzo right now is like, "Hey, Nate, want to go to Phil's right now? Hey, you might lose out on your Phil's date there, big dog."
I might, man. Good talking to you guys.
Good talking to you, Rod. Have a good day, brother. Love having Rod on, dude. It's great. Well said, Rod. We got people jumping in the chat just because they heard Rod. I love it. I think our team meal on Thursdays, Phil's barbecue, by the way. So I'll be having it on Thursday. I got to see Rod's new haircut. Nate crying into his cheesesteak right now. All right, let's get to Wayne in San Diego. Wayne, what do you think about Albert Pujols maybe being the Padres manager?
Idea. I personally think that he'd have a great relationship with Fernando and Manny, and they've played with him before, and I think they're really good friends, actually, from what I understand. And also, doesn't Albert come from the Cardinals organization? You know, they has the same kind of philosophies that Mike Schilt has, and I think that would be pretty sound, because I like the way Mike Schilt managed the Padres for the last couple years as well. I think that's pretty good, and I think, like you were saying, that Albert would probably really help out maybe a little bit more clutch situations with our stars. You know, giving them more confidence. Hey, guys, go out there and do this. You know, I mean, I think it'd be a great idea.
I think it's a great idea.
The only thing I'm worried about is I don't want us to lose Ruben Niebla to another team. You know, he might become a manager of another club.
Right, he could. I mean, he could potentially be a manager in another club. But, I mean, if he wants to be a manager, you can't hold him back because he's such a good pitching coach. Sometimes you got to let these guys, especially in the coaching world, you know, grow. And they'd be like, hey, you know what? Good for you. Best of luck. And this is a great opportunity for Ruben if that's the case. So, you know, don't want to lose him as a pitching coach. They didn't want to lose Darren Balsley as a pitching coach. You found another one, Ruben Niebla. And he's a great a great pitching coach. And, you know, maybe he'll stay a pitching coach here in San Diego if he doesn't want to be a manager. It's an interesting topic of conversation. But to me, hiring a manager for that's best for your team, you can't be not wanting to do it because you don't want to lose your pitching coach. You have to start from the top and start working your way in and filling out the rest of that coaching staff before you can start thinking about filling out that roster. And it's going to be interesting to see what they decide to do. And we're waiting for updates of what has been going on and maybe this interview with Albert Pujols interviewing for the managerial job. When we come back, again, we'll continue to take your phone calls if you want to weigh in on whether or not you think Albert Pujols is the good fit for the Padres managerial job. But when we come back, we'll talk about the Aztecs a little bit. Aztec football continue to roll. Lost a little momentum last week because they had a bye. They got a big rivalry game coming up at Fresno State on Saturday. We'll talk more about that and kind of evaluate how the first half of the season has gone for the Aztecs when we come back on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97 through the Fan is brought to you by Toyota Poway, voted San Diego's #1 Toyota dealer by USA Today, with APRs as low as 0% and tons of new Toyotas on the ground. No tricks, only treats during the Trucktober sales event happening now only at Toyota Poway or online at toyotapoway.com in the heart of San Diego. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We have a couple of minutes before we get to the sports thread, about 10 minutes, and we want to get to San Diego State football. They have completed the first half of the season, the Aztecs have, and the Aztecs are in a really good spot right now when it comes to winning the Mountain West Conference, surprisingly. Now, they've already hit their over for wins on the year. It was 4.5. They went 5-1 in their first 6 games of the season. Now, their next couple of games are a little interesting because they're going to have to play 6 games with no buys. So they got the bye this week. Now they go into 6 in a row, all back-to-back, against some of the better teams in the Mountain West Conference. Aztecs, as of right now, 5-1 in the season. According to the evaluators, or WarrenNolan.com, on some of the RPI power rating, if you will, they're ranked the 60th best team in college football. If you pull up the website in particular and take a look at their metrics, 5-1 overall, 3-0 at home, 2-1 on the road. They are 2-0 in conference play, went 3-1 in non-conference. Strength of schedule is 133. Non-conference strength of schedule is 100. Strength of schedule opponent win percentage 127. Non-conference strength of schedule opponent win percentage 98. Not that great. But that being said, the remaining schedule at Fresno State this weekend, who's ranked 64th according to the same metric that had the Aztecs at 60. Wyoming, who's ranked 110. Hawaii on the road is ranked 57th. Boise State at home, who's ranked 36th. Then San Jose State, who's ranked 119. And at New Mexico, who's ranked 91. They have their predicted end of the season, predicted results. And as of right now, they have the Aztecs finishing the season 8-4, which means they would finish the season 3-3 in their next 6. Here's how they lay it out, WarrenNolan.com. They got them losing to Fresno State 24-23, which I don't think will be the case. Beating Wyoming 27-17, losing at Hawaii 26-24, losing to Boise State 31-23, and then beating San Jose State and beating New Mexico. We'll see how the Aztecs do. Now, let's talk about the first half of the season, where they went 5-1. First half of San Diego State Aztecs season is come and gone, and the Aztecs are 1 win away from a bowl game and sit in second place in the Mountain West Conference behind Boise State. How these things play out, San Diego State needs to be in the top 2 to potentially make it to the Mountain West Championship game. If they beat Boise State, they have a good chance at hosting the Mountain West Championship game. We talked about it on Monday with Drake Hills. Could you imagine if Snapdragon Stadium in the same year got to host the MLS Championship game or the MLS Cup and the Mountain West Championship game? It would be wonderful. So the Aztecs sit a half game behind Boise State for the number 1 spot in the conference. They got 6 games to go. Hawaii is on the list of games. So they got to play Boise State coming up. They're number 1 in the conference. They got to play Hawaii, who's 3 in the conference. They got to play Fresno State, who's 5 in the conference. Wyoming, 7. San Jose State's 8. New Mexico is 9. They don't play Colorado State, Air Force, and they've already beaten Nevada, who are at the bottom of the Mountain West standing. Looking at the first half, Frank has put out what we think should be grades for this season, at least in the first half of the season. What do you got today?
First of all, Sean Lewis gave his first half report card during his press conference on Monday, so I figured, why don't we give our own? So far, offensive play, offensive approach, quarterback play, the 3-headed monster in the backfield, defensive play, defensive approach, special teams, coaching staff, and the Aztec fast concept, I think, are fair grades to give.
Is that what he gave?
No, that's what I gave.
Oh, that's a lot of concepts there.
Well, we like to get down in the weeds in this show. We like to, be thorough with our analysis.
All right, so let's talk about offensive play. And we got to get through this in a couple of minutes here because we have the sports fix we have to get to.
The
sports
what?
thread we have to get through.
So, first off, we'll go offensive play. What grade would you give
offensive play? I give them, I give them probably a B. I think they've done pretty solid. I mean, against Washington State, it wasn't very good. I think they got away from the run very early in that, but they've been putting up points. Actually, you know what? I go B- because I forgot about the Northern Illinois game. I look at San Diego State and I look at the way they score. Like they put up 42 points against Stony Brook. They put up 34 against Cal, which is impressive. 45 against Colorado State, 44 against Nevada. But the thing was the clunkers on the road at Washington State and at Northern Illinois, I think knocks him down a little bit. I think it's taken him a little bit to get Denegal going, but he is going. So I'm going to give him a B-. I think there is still a little bit of room for improvement, but they're moving fast in that direction. I go B-.
I'm going to go with a B because, again, it hasn't really been hit and miss with this offense. You had the get right game with Washington State, and then you had the Northern Illinois game. You've scored 30 points or more in every other game since then. You've scored 35. You've scored 40 points or more in all but one of those games, and that was the Cal game. So I feel confident giving them a B. Would have liked to have seen more, as you said, against Northern Illinois. Would have given them a B+, but I'll stick with the B. Next up, offensive approach this year for San Diego State.
I'm going to go B because they have leaned more on the running game than they had in the past. Like last year, they were trying to go Aztecs fast, right? And it didn't really work out with the personnel they had. They have good running backs. I think they've done a good job of using those running backs aside from one game against Washington State. And so for that, I give them a B. But I think offensively, they are using what has, where they have success, what their personnel is. And I think they're doing a good job.
I'm going to stick with a B as well on that. I would like to see them use the running backs a little bit more. One thing that I've been very, very impressed with as far as this offense is concerned is that Denegal has found Jordan Napier to be like a safety valve for him. You're 6 games into the year. Napier's had a 100+ receiving yard game in 4 of them, something that he had not had in his entire career up until this year. So I'll give it a B there as well. Quarterback play.
I give Denegal a B. I think he started off slow, but as a reminder, he hadn't had a lot of game reps before this season. I mean, you had to kind of get him into this is how you play D1 college football, right? So I think he has been improving as the season goes on. At the beginning of the season, it was like a C-, and now I think he's worked his way up to a B, and I think he can continue to improve here in the next 6 games of the season. I'd go B.
I'm going to go with a B+ because he's not getting many opportunities to throw, but what he's completing. He's getting big yardage plays, and he's not turning the ball over. He's not throwing interceptions. I believe he only has 1 this year, but routinely when you look at the box score, you're seeing him. He's like 17 for 20, 16 for 19. He's completing what he is throwing, and using his legs a little bit more. I think would be a little bit better for him. Your 3-headed monster in the backfield.
I give him an A. I think they're doing a great job relying on the run. I think Lucky Sutton's doing a great job running the football. Byron Cardwell's doing a good job running the football. Christian Washington, I think all 3 of them play off of each other. All 3 of them are different style of running backs where they can pound the ball. They can mix up the speed. They got an overall back too. I mean, I think collectively the big reason why this team offensively has scored a lot of points is the fact that they can rely on their run game and they play good defense. We're going to talk about the defense in another segment because we got to get to the sports thread. But San Diego State runs the football and plays good defense. You know what good teams do, Frank?
Run the ball and play good defense.
Run the football and play good defense. That's why San Diego State's 5-1 is for all those things. Running the ball with the three-headed monster, I give them an A.
I'm going to give them an A as well. You can only be as successful as how many times you get called on. And when these running backs do get the call, they are nailing it every single time. Sutton's got 6 touchdowns this year, which is already a career high for him in a season. Cardwell has been good. You get multiple different looks out of the backfield as far as this running back core is concerned. So yeah, I would say easy A as far as the running backs are concerned.
We got to get to the sports stuff, but I do want to mention about their defenses. I kind of scroll through like points allowed. The Aztecs this year have allowed 73 points total,
which is absurd.
That is an absurd amount. Now, a couple shutouts
Absurdly
definitely
low.
help with that. There are only in all of Division I football, there are only 2 teams that have allowed less points than San Diego State has. Only 2. Oklahoma, who's allowed 66 points on the season, and Ohio State, who's allowed 41 points on the season. Aztecs are third on that list, allowing 73 points this year, and right behind them are the Texas Longhorns, who have allowed 79. Texas has played an extra game, so take that for what it's worth. But that being said, the Aztecs have done a great job in playing defense, and they're doing a good job running the football. We'll talk about the defense later on in the show, the defensive approach, the special teams, how the coaching staff has done as we evaluate the Aztecs' first half grades. We will also hear from Sean Lewis, who spoke to the media yesterday, later on in the show as well. But it's time to get to today's sports thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
All right, Frank, what do we got going on today?
I think we have a decent sports thread today, despite the 2 seconds of prep I did for this because I didn't do it last night.
Number 1.
We'll start off, of course, with the news that broke earlier today, and that is that Tony Vitello is going to be the new manager for the San Francisco Giants. This deal coming with the following days of negotiations, in which Vitello considered staying at Tennessee, where he won the Men's College World Series in 2024. A deal is on the verge of being finalized between the two sides. It already has been. He will replace Bob Melvin, who was fired on the 29th of September, following an 81 season, the Giants' 4th consecutive year without a playoff berth. Solid hire by the San Francisco Giants for a guy who has never coached at the professional level before.
I think it is a take a big chance hire. I think this is a boomer bust hire for the Giants. I think it takes a lot of gall to be able to make a move like this. Buster Posey's doing that sort of thing. I mean, they made the big move to get Rafael Devers. Now they're making a interesting move, high risk move, high reward move, and getting Tony Vitello. So, you know what? I think it's a decent move for the Giants, but we'll see. That there's a lot of risk involved. It's not a safe move. And I'm curious to see how Vitello does as the manager of the Giants, because I've watched him now with the Tennessee Volunteers. He's done a great job at Tennessee and at the college level, and does a great job evaluating players. I mean, a lot of the players that he's got signed to go to Tennessee are a lot of players getting drafted in the first round, either players that played for him or prospects coming up. So the evaluation of talent for them is good. We'll see what he does as a manager at the professional level. It is a bold move for the Giants.
It absolutely is.
Number 2.
The NFL is not considering dropping Bad Bunny as its Super Bowl halftime headline performer. Commissioner Roger Goodell said earlier today, reaffirming his decision to put the Grammy-winning Puerto Rican artist on the league's biggest stage, which led to criticism from the president and some of his supporters. Goodell addressed the Bad Bunny controversy at his news conference following the NFL's fall meetings. It is the first time he has commented on the move announced late last month that garnered worldwide attention, including an increase in streams of Bad Bunny's music, along with an increase of backlash. Good on the NFL for sticking to their guns.
Why would they change it? I mean, they made their decision. Who cares?
Exactly.
I don't care. I hate how everything turns into like this political fight now of I got to root for my team, and so my team said this, so I'm going to say everything that they do, or that's against my team, so I'm gonna stick it to the other team by downloading his music. You guys are ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Stop being controlled by your political party. You guys are all fools, all of you.
Mm-hmm.
All of you.
Number 3.
When Cleveland Browns coach Kevin Stefanski turned to rookie Dylan Gabriel as the team's starting quarterback on October 1st, he noted that the third-round pick had received practice reps with the first-team offense as the backup to Joe Flacco. Stefanski, though, when asked today about fellow rookie and backup quarterback Shedeur Sanders' practice regime, said the fifth-round pick is not receiving reps with the starting offense. With a young quarterback with Dylan starting, you want to make sure he gets a lot of reps. It's different when you have a veteran with Joe, said Stefanski, who noted that Sanders is still getting a bunch of reps in practice. Sanders, whose father is Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback Deion Sanders, has served as the backup quarterback for Dylan Gabriel the past 2 games in the aftermath of the Browns trading Flacco to the Bengals. Sanders wore the number 3 in an emergency quarterback the first 5 games of the year. Should Sanders be getting at least some resemblance of first team reps in practice if he is the official number 2 quarterback on the depth chart?
I mean, he should be getting this is a hard deal because you want to, and we've had this. I mean, I have these conversations all the time because when you have an inexperienced player that needs as many reps as possible, you can't, I mean, you have to give him the reps. Now, you also need to give reps to players that are going to come in if something bad happens. And in football, in a violent sport like football, bad things happen. Like what happens if Dylan Gabriel goes down in the first 2 plays of the game? Guess who's going in? Shedeur. So it's a little bit of give and take. Like you need Gabriel to get a lot of reps, but like Shedeur should be getting some reps too with the number 1s just so they're on the same page. It's not a lot. He doesn't need a lot, but they have to get him ready to play just in case Dylan Gabriel goes down.
Bless you.
Thank you.
No, I agree. And there is something like Stefanski said, there is something to the fact that this kid's a rookie. He needs as much as he needs as he can get.
100%.
And he can get a little bit more with a backup quarterback. You also don't want to really, I mean, Stefanski has labeled Gabriel as the guy. So if you're going to have him be the guy, especially as a rookie, you don't want to create that air of competition when we already know that the second guy isn't going to get it. But yeah, I do agree.
There's some of that, but it's not. These guys are professionals. Yeah. It's just Shedeur needs to get reps just to be ready to go.
Yes.
You can't just be like, oh, well, he didn't practice this week.
Oops.
I mean, I get guys reps that are probably never going to do what we do, but what happens if a guy goes down? What is your backup plan? You can't just throw somebody out there that doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, so basically what it was is he's getting a bunch of practice. He's getting reps, just not with the first team, as far as Shedeur is concerned.
Number 4.
Denver Broncos coach Sean Payton said he was hoping to face former quarterback Russell Wilson when his team played the Giants this past Sunday. Payton got rookie Jackson Dart instead. That caught Wilson's attention. Wilson wrote on X, followed by some laughing emojis and the hashtag, quote, "Let's ride." Stop that, please. Saying classless, but not surprised. Didn't realize you're still bounty hunting 15 years later through the media. Wilson was responding to comments by Payton after Sunday's game, which the Broncos won 33-32.
I heard his comments.
Yeah. That's just an insane clapback from Russell Wilson.
For like something that wasn't even that big of a deal.
Yes.
I was listening to the Sean Payton press conference. It's like, this is the context. I'm like, well, I think everybody knows that Jackson Dart is better than Russell Wilson. And if you're the Broncos, you would much rather face Russell Wilson who is not a great quarterback anymore, who maybe was never a great quarterback, had a great defense behind him, who has turned himself into a clown and being focused on just the dumbest things, and he's irrelevant now. And so he had to, like, clap back.
That was a psychotic clapback.
What's his girl's name? Sierra?
God knows.
I don't know. But somebody in the comments said, like, she definitely tweeted that for him. Russell Wilson is just a clown, dude. Local story that I want to get to. I just want to ask some questions about it. We'll talk about that when we come back and get you some NFL overreactions.
it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
Welcome back to the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I do want to get to some NFL overreactions. We're going to hear from Sean Lewis later on in the show as well. A couple of different things in college football I want to talk about. Plus, we're going to evaluate the first half of the Aztec season from a defensive standpoint and special teams. Adam Paul put in the chat, and I got a lot of questions about this. I don't understand what's going on. But Adam Paul in the chat puts Chris Hauser out at Mission Hills is a big local story. Chris Hauser is a longtime head football coach at Mission Hills. He's one of the most successful football coaches in the CIF San Diego section, and he stepped down yesterday at Mission Hills High School. I'm getting this from a report from John Maffey. Now, what I know on the rumor mill and what I hear around is not what I'm going to say because it's not proven factual. And I don't know. Then we're going to get things right. So this is coming from what John Maffey is reporting in the San Diego Union Tribune. Chris Hauser, one of the most successful football coaches in the CIF San Diego section, has stepped down at Mission Hills High School. In the meantime, this happened like months ago and haven't heard really much about it. But Hauser and two assistant coaches were placed on paid leave by the San Marcos School District last month, following what is believed to be, quote, an on-campus incident. An on-campus incident that was being investigated by the Sheriff Department of San Diego County. Remember that? Remember that happened like a couple months ago? What happened to that? I know nothing about that. It's an ongoing investigation, obviously, so can't really comment further. But all we know is the Sheriff Department was involved. So he gets put on paid leave with two other coaches. And then yesterday, oddly enough, he decides to resign as the head football coach. In a letter posted online, Hauser wrote that, quote, family and health circumstances were the reasons behind his departure. It's a little odd. This is what he said. It's been a good run. I'm proud of our programs and players' achievements through 20 plus years leading it, but family/health circumstances signal that it's time for me to step down from my head coach and teaching responsibilities to attend to those priorities preceding my retiring from the district at the end of the school year. My family and I appreciate all of your support, encouragement, and respecting our privacy. We wish all of Mission Hills High School Grizzlies and the program continuing success. Just decided to retire now? I'm just asking questions. The story doesn't really line up. I don't know what's going on. And maybe we'll get more reports about it. John Maffey tried to call Coach Hauser, and Hauser did not immediately return a call seeking further comment. Hauser is the only football coach in Mission Hills history, joining the school in 2004 after a successful 4-year run at Vista, where he led his alma mater to the San Diego Section Division I championship. Hauser led Mission Hills to the San Diego Section Open Division Championship in 2013, where the Grizzlies defeated Oceanside, the first ever Open Division Championship. Mission Hills lost to Helix in the 2017 Open Division Championship game and fell the Division I title game in 2012, 2022, and 2023, and the Division II title game in 2007 and 2010. Hauser leaves with a record of 176, 74, and 2 at Mission Hills, a winning mark of 70.4%. He went 34 and 15 at Vista. The Grizzlies were 4-0 under Hauser this season before he was placed on paid leave. Offensive coordinator DJ Zapata was named the interim coach and has since led the team to a 3-1 record. Mission Hills is ranked number 3 in the county and number 13 in the state by Max Preps heading into Friday's game against Rancho Bernardo. The 210 career wins put Hauser at number 11 all-time in San Diego history, just 2 behind number 10 Jim Arnies of Helix and 4 behind former Torrey Pines and San Diego coach Ed Burke. Herb Meyer is the winningest head coach in San Diego section history. He had 339 career wins in 45 years at El Camino and Oceanside. There is currently no word on the status of Thomas Altieri and Edward Nichols, the 2 Mission Hills assistants who were placed on paid leave alongside Hauser. Just kind of time to retire, Frank. That's I guess what the deal is.
For all of them, too, at the same time.
I mean, this has been a long investigation of what's going on at Mission Hills with their football program. I mean, I have to look up, like, the original report. But
I know nothing about it, so
I don't know
can't
anything
speculate
about it. I'm not going to speculate either. I've heard things, but that's not something I would say
on air.
Here's another report. Mission Hills high school football coach Chris Hauser, who's placed on paid administrative leave for the past month amid a district investigation, announced Monday he'll step down from his positions as coach and teacher. Again, he cites health and family. Talks about his players. I'm trying to see if there's anything. Along with assistant coaches, he was placed on a paid administrative leave in September. Here's the report from that. Mission Hills High School announced back on September 17th that the Grizzlies head coach Chris Hauser and assistants Thomas Altieri and Edward Knuckles, have been placed on paid administrative leave amid an ongoing investigation. San Marcos Unified School District Public Information Officer Christine M. Lee confirmed the decision in a statement to the Coast News. This is who has this article.
LSN in the chat, he said specifically that he does not know, and the rumors that he's heard, he's not comfortable saying on air. So it's not that Braden knows and will not divulge the information.
I know a bunch of different stories, and I don't want to say any of them because I don't know, and it's what I've been told is a very serious situation.
Yes.
And it's an ongoing investigation. This is just what's being reported. Here's what the quote was. San Marcos Unified School District confirms that members of the Mission Hills High School football coaching staff have been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of an investigation. No additional details can be shared at this time. Our priority is the safety and well-being of our students. The district is taking steps to ensure stability within the football program and to provide continued support for student athletes. The announcement came after the Mission Hills 31-21 victory over Granite Hills. Again, this is in September. Following the win over Granite Hills, Hauser was selected as a nominee for the Chargers Coach of the Week honor back then. So again, it's interesting that it's still part of the deal. In the interim, Mission Hills alumni DJ Zapata, who's a class of 2008, was named acting head coach. Two sports standouts, Zapata played baseball and served as a Grizzly starting quarterback his junior and senior years, passing for 2,125 yards and 15 touchdowns as a senior. The reasons behind the administrative leave remain unclear, and theories about the situation have circulated, though no official details have been released.
Okay, my apologies to LSN. I thought he was saying that you knew, but won't say.
Oh, no.
He knows.
He knows.
Because
I'm sure people do know.
Because his kid plays on varsity. So I apologize for that. I misunderstood what you were saying. My bad.
One Mission Hills player told the Coast News, "I don't know anything," emphasizing that the team's focus remains on Friday night's matchup at Ramona, which was, again, in September. "We're taking it day by day, focusing on practice." Mission Hills parent told the Coast News he is unaware of the reasons behind the coaching staff's leave, but expressed concern, drawing parallels to the February 2025 controversy at Vista High School, where varsity football coach David Fatatuse, known as Coach Vika, was let go following an investigation into athlete misconduct. The decision prompted a packed district board meeting with community members demanding answers and highlighting his positive impact on the program. Quote, "This kind of thing happened at Vista and it decimated the school and program," said the parent who spoke only on the condition of anonymity. The news also took rival players and coaches across North County by surprise. One opposing coach called the situation, quote, "crazy." Mission Hills entered the season as a strong contender for the Open Division State Championship, led by quarterback Troy Hune, who was at the time committed to Penn State. He has since decommitted from Penn State due to the firing of James Franklin, probably some other things as well. So, very interesting on that. But he's under investigation and now has decided that health and family are the reasons why he is retiring. But I think the other thing, too, is that reported in the Coast News was I think he was going to retire at the end of the year anyway. But it's interesting that it is still going on. Haven't heard much about it. I've heard a lot of rumors, but that's about it. And there's nothing that you don't want to report on any type of rumors ever because you just don't know. And so hopefully the safety and well-being of the high school kids is the number one priority. And they put together a good season, like on the football field. So it's a big story that just is like just kind of slowly has been happening in the background. So that's the latest that we had from the Coast News. And again, the big news of a very high-level football coach in town retiring earlier this week. We want to get to the NFL overreactions. We're going to get to that when we come back as the Braden Surprenant show continues on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All guests on 97.3 The Fan join us via the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. We're in the noon lunchtime hour. I want to say, how many times, Frank, have you been to Mary's Donuts?
No.
Mary's Donuts, one of the best donut shops in all of East County, all of San Diego. A lot of people, when we talk about donuts, talk about Mary's Donuts.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say my condolences to the family. Mary passed away yesterday or 2 days ago at the age of 94.
Wow.
A major impact to the communities out there and the people that obviously would go to Mary's Donuts all the time. She was a wonderful lady, as it was said multiple times. They did a really good tribute to her on the Mary's Donuts Instagram page. I think her granddaughter runs one of the stores. But Mary's Donuts, the longtime owner of Mary's Donuts, has passed away at the age of 94. So condolences to
definitely
her family and the community out in East County and everybody involved with, obviously, Mary's Donuts. Anyway.
Oh, that stinks.
In the article on Fox 5, it was posted that she didn't actually eat donuts, but preferred ice cream instead. But she made some great donuts. One of the best places. You got to go out to Mary's Donuts.
Baskin Mary's doesn't have the
Baskin Mary
doesn't have the same ring as Mary's Donuts.
Mary's Donuts. Here's the official Mary Hennessy. Passed away at 94, owner and founder of Mary's Donuts in eastern San Diego County. Mary's granddaughter, Kelly, will be taking over Mary's Donuts after working under her wing for the last 9 years. Mary's Donuts in Santee has been serving up fresh donuts 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day, Frank. For 41 years, a place locals have loved for decades. Quote, she loved the regulars, Kelly Hennessy, Mary's granddaughter, said. I live in Cardiff. Kimberly Dorr said, I drive all the way from there to here to get donuts from Mary's, and I've been coming here for maybe 10 years now. That's a long drive. Dorr said they're always fresh and worth the drive. Mary Hennessy got her start in the donut business working at several Winchell's locations in East County in the early 80s. In 1984, she got a place of her own. Quote, different era, but they wouldn't sell to a woman back in 1984. So my grandfather was the one who did all the paperwork and signed all the things. But the truth was it was her shop. It was always her shop. And she ran this place every day. Kelly Hennessy said she passed away. Mary did at age 94.
That stinks. Next time I put my foot in my mouth and have to go to a high school football game up around Santana, I will definitely, I'll definitely hit the spot up.
That's correct. Mary's Donuts is money. One of the best. One of the best in town. All right.
Yeah, that stinks.
It's time to get to today's, or should I say this week's, overreactions of the National Football League.
Well, that's a hard old turnaround to make off of that.
A life well lived.
So anyway, off to football now. Like that's, you may as well have just said that is the way it sounded.
I need some donuts.
Yeah, we do need some donuts here. All right. So first of all, we'll start off in Minnesota. The Vikings let Sam Darnold leave after a strong 2024 season to make J.J. McCarthy their starter, but the move has backfired so far. Darnold is thriving in Seattle, ranking near the top of the league, while McCarthy struggled early, got injured, and still has not returned. Backup Carson Wentz has also played poorly, and the only other option is undrafted rookie Max Brosmer. To make things worse, Darnold's former backup, Daniel Jones, is excelling as the Colts starter, leaving Minnesota's quarterback situation looking bleak. Should the Vikings have re-signed Sam Darnold?
I don't know. They had J.J. McCarthy, right? Like, were they going to have a quarterback controversy with J.J. McCarthy and Sam Darnold? I think that's an overreaction. I'm selling that they should have re-signed Sam Darnold. That was the only place Sam Darnold's done well. And here's the other thing, too, with the Minnesota Vikings and their quarterback situation. With Kevin O'Connell in charge, their quarterbacks, they have turned a lot of trash into treasure.
Yep.
I mean, they had it with Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins thrived in Minnesota. They didn't re-sign him. The Falcons did. You know what he's doing down in Atlanta. He's backing up Michael Penix Jr. You look at Sam Darnold. He is a guy that could not get anything going in his career. Gets an opportunity because J.J. McCarthy goes down. He spins it into a better situation. Carson Wentz hasn't been great, but I don't think they needed to re-sign Sam Darnold. Selling it.
Off to Kansas City we go. After a shaky 0-2 start that sparked talks of the Chiefs dynasty ending, it's over. Kansas City has bounced back in a big way. With Rashee Rice returning from suspension, they crushed the Raiders 31-0 and now moved to 4-3. Chiefs completely dominated, outgaining Las Vegas 434 to 95 yards and allowing only 30 offensive plays. Since their slow start, they're now 4-1 and averaging nearly 30 points per game, proving early season worries were likely overblown. Are the Chiefs going back to the Super Bowl this year as the AFC's representative?
No, they're not. Not based on their talent. I'll tell you that. If they get some aid, maybe. But they're not. I'm selling that.
Yeah,
the AFC's got some good teams that they're going to have to get through. There's no way.
Selling that as well. Joe Flacco led the Bengals to a crucial win over the first-place Pittsburgh Steelers, snapping Cincinnati's 4-game losing streak and tightening the AFC North race. The victory improved the Bengals to 3-4, reviving their playoff hopes as their offenses look better since Flacco replaced Jake Browning. The loss dropped the Steelers to 4-2, giving the 1-5 Ravens, who expect Lamar Jackson back after their bye, renewed hope with 2 games still left against Pittsburgh. Can the Bengals still theoretically win the AFC North?
Yes, because the AFC North sucks. They're not good. Give me a good team in the AFC North. I don't think the Steelers are good.
No.
I don't think the Steelers are good at all. I think they've been playing with fool's gold right now. I think the Bengals are decent. It depends if what the deal is with Joe Burrow. Is Joe Burrow out for the year? Because remember he was going to miss some weeks. I don't remember them ever saying that he was out for the year. They get Joe Burrow back and they're within a game or two, they can win that division. They almost did it last year. With the talent that they have around. I mean, they got good talent. They just have a bad offensive line and it gets their quarterback killed all the time. I don't think they could do it for the full season, Joe Flacco. But if Joe Burrow comes back, which I don't know if he is or not, if he comes back, they got a really good chance. I mean, the Steelers are 4-2 and the Bengals are 3-4. They're right there, right behind them. I mean, I would even say, here's this for a bold take, overreaction. I still think Baltimore can catch a lot of those teams. That's how bad the Steelers, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Ravens are. The AFC North is wide open, in my opinion, even though the Steelers are 4-2. Fool's gold.
Inching in towards the halfway point of the season as well. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers remain atop the division at 5-1, now 5-2, with Baker Mayfield playing at an MVP level, while the Falcons have found momentum at 3-2 behind improving rookie Michael Penix Jr. But with the surprise of the story of the Panthers, now 4-3 after a third straight win, including a dominant 30-0 win over Atlanta. Despite Bryce Young's ankle injury, Carolina's strong defense and knack for finding ways to win have made them an unexpected contender. Could the NFC South field 3 playoff teams?
As I look at the playoff standings of the National League or National Football League and the National Football Conference, they currently have the Bucks in the playoffs as the division winner. And then right behind, again, is Carolina at 4-3 as a 9 seed, potentially. Atlanta's hanging around at 3-3 at 11 seed. I think one of those Saints ain't making the playoffs. I'm going to sell that. There's too many teams for those teams to catch up against. In the NFC North, the Packers are making the Packers and the Lions are making the playoffs, I think. Mm-hmm. The Bears are hanging around. The NFC North could get 3 teams in there. The Vikings are 500 too. So that's a group that could probably get 3 teams in. If you look at the NFC West, they got the Niners, the Rams, and the Seahawks are all 5-2. In order for there to be 3 teams in the postseason in the NFL out of one division, They got to take up 2 of the 3 wild card spots, and I don't think the Panthers are better than the Rams or Seahawks, and I don't think the Falcons are better than the Rams or the Seahawks, or even the Bears for that matter, who might be a third team in. If I had to rank it, the best chance, NFC West will have the most likely chance of getting 3 teams into the postseason, then the North, and then the South. That's how I see it.
Fair enough. Justin Herbert led a strong second-half comeback against the Colts despite a rough start with 2 interceptions. He developed a solid connection with rookie tight end Aranda Gantz in the second, but the Chargers still lost due to an offense that could not stop the Colts. I'm assuming that would be defense.
Yeah.
A major issue remains the offensive line. Herbert was pressured on 57% of his dropbacks and hit 15 times. Injuries to starting tackles Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt have left Herbert vulnerable, disrupting the offensive flow and limiting its potential. Do the Chargers need to trade for an offensive lineman?
Yeah. They don't have any left. Their best players are gone. I mean, here's like the lazy narrative from a lot of people that just don't like Justin Herbert, and I don't know why. Justin Herbert's a great quarterback. I know people that are Cowboys fans that don't like Justin Herbert because they're like, Dak gets criticized and Herbert doesn't. It's not fair. Herbert sucks. No, Herbert does not suck. Herbert's a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League. What sucks for Herbert is he's got nobody protecting him right now. I'd like to see any other quarterback go out there with the Chargers O-line or what they have right now and try to put up any type of offensive numbers. He got outplayed by Daniel Jones. I mean, the narratives from like the Barstool dudes that don't know anything about football is, I mean, just hilarious. Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League. He needs to be protected. If he's not protected, he can't be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. That's the thing. That's why it's so important to have offensive linemen. Look at the Bengals. Bengals don't even have their quarterback right now because they're going to invest in an offensive line. The 2 best guys for the Chargers are dinged up and they're out. They have to get protection for Herbert. And they got to get some type of running game too. Their running backs are out too. They can't run the ball and he's not protected. He's running for his life. They know he's the only person on that team that can beat him. Of course it's going to be a lot more difficult for him to try to play. He's not a bad quarterback because he's running for his life. He's a good quarterback. He's got no protection. He's got no running game. You try to play quarterback doing that.
Yeah, right.
It's impossible.
I just saw Russell Wilson's tweet about Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Someone retweeted it with the comment and video to go along with it. Brother, you threw 1 pass against the Eagles and your coach ran to the medical tent to check on your replacement.
I have no comment on that, but you know what?
Accurate. It happened. He threw 1 pass and Dable started screaming at the medical staff.
Yeah, well. Makes sense. Just got a text. Herbert is way better than Dak, and I have a question. Well, yeah. I agree with you.
To me, there is one thing.
I'd take Herbert over Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's having an MVP level year right now, by the way.
To me, there is one thing keeping Justin Herbert from being a top 5 quarterback.
Offensive line?
Nope. Grow back the mane.
Oh, my God. I agree with Jake in the
chat. Grow the hair
chat.
back, dude. That's all you got to do.
If the Lions had Justin Herbert,
they'd be unstoppable.
Exactly. It's all relative. I mean, you got to keep the guy upright. That's why, like, receivers are such a dime a dozen, because if you can't get him the ball, how good are they really? You need good protection to get him the ball. You need a guy that can throw it to get him the ball. You don't have a guy that can throw very well or an offensive line that can protect said guy from throwing. They ain't getting the ball. That's why you don't invest a lot of money in receivers unless you got everything else already built in place. 833-288-1973, 833-288-1973. Let's get out to Martin and Santee. Martin, what's going on, man?
Gentlemen, you scared me, and I got the chills. I had just come out of Sprouts in Santee, was making the turn on Carlton Hills, and all of a sudden, it's like you're talking about Mary's Donuts as I'm driving by. So first, great little tribute in the paper for her and locally as well. And second, Frank, I got to apologize. I could have brought you, one of my favorite old-fashioned glaze from Mary's the night we were at the game. But what I wanted to comment on, Braden, and again, just thank you for covering San Diego State football, man. It is refreshing, number one. Number two, the snippets from Coach, but the strength and 5 wins so far, it's much appreciated. I hope the community realizes that. I don't hear a lot of or see a lot of stuff in the chat about SDSU, but I know it's out there. And again, and then just a little quick comment, Herbert offensive line, San Diego State turned it around at the Cal game, and their offensive line, they're monsters. So it really does begin there. And I'm just going to say, I'm going to send literally an email to the president of the college to say, you guys got to get something set up with 97.3 The Fan, weekly coach stuff. But anyway, always a great show, and appreciate the passion and the diversity of sports that you cover and the people that you choose to bring on to cover those sports. So good stuff. So happy Wednesday today, and thank you for all that you guys do. So take care.
Absolutely, Martin. We appreciate the phone call and the kind words, of course.
Thank you, Uncle Martin.
I need a glazed donut now. 833-288-973, 833-288-973. We're going to get back to your phone calls in a second. I also want to can we please stop? This got a lot of traction on Twitter. I'm about to rant about it because I'm a passionate college football fan. Can we stop listening to betting insiders about what fans want to watch? What I want to watch as a fan is not what a gambler wants to watch.
Not the best time.
So
don't we have a betting insider on at 1 o'clock?
A betting insider?
Go with the joke, man.
No, our betting insider comes on Thursday. She's the queen of college football. She won't get offended by this. Let's stop listening to the gambling insiders about this particular thing. We'll talk about it when we come back. What is he talking about? I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right. We got some stuff we got to talk about in college football. This hour of 97 Through the Fans brought to you by Toyota of Poway, voted San Diego's number one Toyota dealer by USA Today. With APRs as low as 0% and tons of new Toyotas on the ground, no tricks, only treats during the Trucktober sales event happening now, only at Toyota of Poway or online at toyotapoway.com in the heart of San Diego. Trying to figure out if we got a contestant for the midday sports standoff. If you could take me down in sports trivia, you would be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize, a trip for two to see Jerry Seinfeld in Las Vegas, including 2 tickets to the show on April 17th at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace, a 2-night stay at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, and a $100 gas card. Jerry Seinfeld returns to the Coliseum at Caesars Palace on April 17th and 18th. See Ticketmaster.com for tickets. We got the Herbert hater commenting in a group chat, disagreeing with our Lions fan about Herbert being better with the Lions because Jared Goff is already a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. I don't want to waste my time talking about that. Justin Herbert's a great quarterback. Unfortunately, his offensive line is garbage because they are all injured. But the problem I have is with college football. I have a lot of problems with college football. One of them being like the rankings right now is utterly ridiculous with the SEC schools. Have you seen some of these?
No, I actually haven't seen the college football rankings this week. I know I'm way late to this party here, but
the conversation is about like SEC schools being ranked with the same record and worse resumes at the record of 5-2 than other schools that are also 5-2 that are not in the SEC not being ranked.
Mm-hmm.
That's like part of the conversation. And what else is part of the conversation is like the college football playoff and everything like that. And it kind of leads to this tweet that I saw that people are just absolutely all over right now. Just all over. And I have it bookmarked. I put it on there. But here's what one of our Odyssey betting insiders said. Todd Furman on Twitter. Because it's about the college football like parity. And right now I think parity is great in college football. There's not one dominant team. I mean, Ohio State looks like the one dominant team right now. But you got schools like Indiana ranked in the top 5. Alabama's not a world beaters. They used to. They're really good, but they're not a team that you watch Alabama play with Nick Saban and go like, how's anybody going to beat these teams? Georgia Tech is 7-0 in the top 10. Texas Tech's in the top 14 at 6-1. You got schools like Vanderbilt ranked in the top 10. Miami's losing to Louisville. Cincinnati's in the top 25. USF is there. I like the parity in college football. The 5-2 team argument, though, is ridiculous at teams that are ranked in the top 25 that are 5-2 in certain conferences and teams that are not. If you go through the standings of college football and you look at all the 5-2 teams, you look at the SEC, right? The SEC currently has 3 teams that are 5-2. All 3 of those teams are ranked in the top 25. LSU is one of them. LSU's signature non-conference win is Clemson. Frank, how good is Clemson this year?
They're more dog than tiger this year.
LSU's getting credit for beating the number 4 team in the country on the road for that, by the way. They beat Clemson.
Cool.
Then they beat Louisiana Tech, and then they beat Florida, and then they beat Southeast Louisiana. They lost to Ole Miss. They beat South Carolina, and they lost to Vanderbilt. Why are the LSU Tigers ranked at 5-2 and 9th in the SEC?
Why was Notre Dame ranked when they were?
Oh, Frank, do not jump the gun, big dog. We are getting to them. But that's LSU. Like, what has LSU done to justify being ranked in the top 25? What have they done?
Nothing.
Tennessee. I am a Tennessee fan. Tennessee is 5-2. Here's who Tennessee has beaten to be ranked 17 in the country at 5-2. Syracuse. East Tennessee. Lost to Georgia. Beat UAB, who fired their coach, Trent Dilfer, by the way. Beat Mississippi State, who's awful. Beat Arkansas, also awful. And lost to Alabama. What has Tennessee done to justify being a 5-2 team ranked in the top 25? Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing that justifies Tennessee being ranked 17 in the country with a 5-2 record with that particular resume. Aside from the fact that they get credit for beating Syracuse in week 1. Oh, and they're preseason ranked whatever, so God forbid we knock them out of the top 25.
They're pretty much where they are now.
Yeah, they haven't even moved. Texas. They're ranked 22. At least they beat Oklahoma. They lost to Ohio State. That's like their biggest step in the right direction. And then this is their non-conference schedule. San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston. Jesus. Sam Houston hasn't won a game all year. San Jose State is ranked in the 115 or 119, I can't remember, out of 136 schools on some metrics. And UTEP, pick them. The Miners. They lost to Florida, who got their coach fired. I guess they beat Oklahoma. There you go.
They were back in the top 25 even before then.
Correct. They're ranked 22. For what? Losing to Ohio State? I mean, what have they done to justify being ranked in the top 25? Those are the 5-2 teams in the SEC. They're all ranked. The SEC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams ranked in the top 25.
Good night, Irene.
Ridiculous. Not all of them are like this, by the way. I mean, there's a lot of justification. Like Texas A&M being 7-0, beating Notre Dame and all that. Sure, go ahead. They should be in the top 25. They should be ranked where they're at. Alabama, 6-1. Kind of the same deal. Okay, Georgia, Ole Miss, Missouri, they kind of put it together. But in the top 25, the SEC's got 10 teams in it. The Big Ten's got 5. The ACC's got 4, plus Notre Dame. Big 12's got 4. There's one non-Power 4 team in the top 25. But those are the 5-2 teams in the SEC. Let's look at the 5-2 teams in the Big Ten.
We do have a contestant, by the way.
Oh, nice. In the Big Ten, it's Northwestern, USC, Iowa, Michigan, and Minnesota. What is Michigan? At least Michigan played some good teams, I guess. But what has Michigan done to be in the top 25?
Like someone in the chat said it already, is that Michigan lost to USC.
Correct.
Fair-handedly, too. And
Correct.
was that, math numbers, like, what, 20, 36 more votes than them?
Yeah. Illinois is ranked, by the way, too. They're also 5-2. The Big Ten's got a lot of 5-2 teams. Northwestern, SC, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois, Nebraska, Washington. They're all 5-2. What has Michigan done to deserve to be ranked in the top 25? They beat New Mexico?
I mean, in
They lost to Oklahoma? Oh, well, they lost to Oklahoma, so they should be ranked in the top 25. What have they done?
And USC just lost to Notre Dame. Like, that's a quality loss.
This is New Mexico. This is Michigan's schedule. This is who Michigan has beaten this year. If their name wasn't Michigan and they didn't have the blue and maize uniforms, they beat New Mexico, They beat Central Michigan. They beat Nebraska by 3. They beat Wisconsin, and they beat Washington. That's not even that bad compared to the SEC schools. If that is Boise State, are they ranked in the top 25?
No.
No, of course they're not. I'll put it a step further. If that's Arizona State, are they ranked in the top 25? No, of course not.
But Arizona State is ranked in the top 25.
They are.
Number 24.
They actually beat some good teams. Arizona State just beat Texas Tech and gave them their first loss. Go look at the Big 12 now. Or the ACC. We'll start with the ACC so I'm not as biased with the Big 12. The ACC, SMU and Pitt and Cal are all 5-2. I look at the SMU schedule. It's not much better. But if you look at SMU's schedule and you compare them with LSU, where's the difference? They both beat Clemson, by the way. SMU beat East Texas A&M, Missouri State, Syracuse, Stanford, and Clemson. LSU beat Clemson, Louisiana Tech, Florida, Southeast Louisiana, and South Carolina. SMU actually has more Power 4 wins than LSU does. SMU lost to Baylor and TCU. It's their 2 losses. I guess you could go evaluate them based on how good teams were with the losses than anything else. But the fact of the matter is the system is lined up where you get only the SEC schools. They get to load up their schedule, their non-conference schedule with lousy opponents, and makes their records better. And then when they all play each other, it's like, hey, look, we're all good. Jake in the chat. Wait, Michigan's helmets are worth a few votes. You know what? Based on the way a lot of AP poll voters are voting, I would say they are voting for them. Oh, yeah, I like their uniforms. They're cool. Yeah. They're cool. Pitt probably shouldn't be ranked in the top 25. They lost to West Virginia, who might be one of the worst teams I've ever seen, until they beat TCU on Saturday, because that's how this kind of works.
San Diego State, by the way, by virtue of doing nothing, earned 7 top 25 votes this past week by the AP and 4 in the coaches. That's more than the 2 and 1 that they got last week. So by virtue of doing nothing, you are closer to the top 25 now.
I want to look at
TCU got 2 votes in each.
They don't deserve those yet. I want to look at Tennessee just to show that I'm not biased here. I want to look at Tennessee and I want to look at Utah.
It's also not just about the games that you lose. It does have something to do with when you lose them too.
It's not who you play; it's when you play them.
Exactly. So it's
you lose early, you're in a good spot. You lose late,
you have time to recover.
To whatever. Like that's like Ohio State in 2014 got smoked, and I mean absolutely smoked by Virginia Tech in Game 1. They lost by 21 points at home, and it was like they just threw it out like it never even happened. But look at this. Look at Utah as we finish up the hour here. We're going to continue this conversation because I didn't even get to that guy's tweet yet. Utah versus Michigan. Michigan's ranked in the top 25. Utah is not.
Because they just lost to BYU. They were before.
Utah has wins over UCLA, Cal Poly, Wyoming, West Virginia, Arizona State. They've lost to Texas Tech and BYU, who are also ranked.
And were ranked at the time of their playing.
Mm-hmm. 2 ranked losses and a ranked win. Michigan has no ranked wins and have lost 2 ranked games as well. What's the difference? Why isn't Utah ranked?
Because Utah.
Yeah, because Utah. They're in the wrong conference. Stupid. What did that guy say? We'll talk about it when we come back. We'll also play the Midday Sports Standoff at the 1 o'clock hour as well. Final hour of the Braden Surprenant Show. Where's the time gone? San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. It's Hour 970 The Fans, brought to you by our local Kia dealers. Visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. We do want to get to the Midday Sports standoff here in just a second. But first, let's get to Clay in the South Bay. Clay, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on?
Hey, gentlemen. Hey, first things first. I mean, whoever thinks that Herbert isn't a good quarterback doesn't obviously watch a lot of football.
Doesn't know ball, Clay. I agree with you.
I mean, the poor guy, yeah, he doesn't have an offensive line. He's going to have to start getting fitted for flak jackets like Dan Fauci used to have to do.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, really. I mean, how about Ohio State, though, huh? How about them being number one? Purdue's going to be, even though they've been beaten by just about everybody they played, Purdue's still going to be a tough game in Indiana. I don't care what anybody says. Pretty sure Ohio State will prevail. And that's DSU. Braden, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think, and I'm going out on a limb, I don't think that they will lose another regular season game. They just seem to be rolling and getting better with each and every performance.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, San Diego State, I think, has been playing really good football. And we'll see how they do for the old oil can that they currently have possession of. Hopefully they can keep that possession this weekend against Fresno State. We have some news in MLS that we want to get to. But first, we got to get to the Midday Sports Standoff.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
It's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All right, Frankie, we got playing today.
We have Travis in Carlsbad playing today. Travis, how you doing today, bud?
Great, guys. Thanks. Braden, big fan. Third generation San Diegan, and spent my freshman year at GCU.
Nice. Love it, Travis.
There you go. All right.
The third generation San Diegan gets me more.
Already qualified. Here we go. All right. So today, a lot of possible answers for this one, but it's a quick and easy topic. When you think of starting quarterbacks in the NFL,
oh boy,
there are 13 of them that have double-digit numbers. Who are they?
Oh, Lord. All right, well.
And again, we're thinking of starting quarterbacks. Who is a team's number one quarterback? I'm not talking about currently, talking about their number one quarterback. So they may be injured, they may be out. Their number one quarterback.
Okay.
Got it.
Well, Travis gets to start.
Yep, you got the first go.
Oh, sorry. So Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert, number 10.
That was one I was going to start with. So, took the thunder early. Aaron Rodgers, number 12.
Aaron Rodgers wears number 8
now.
in Pittsburgh.
That's right.
Travis.
Jaden Daniels.
I think Jaden Daniels is a single-digit number.
No, Jaden Daniels is not.
Drake May wears 10.
Drake May does wear 10. Travis.
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, number 13.
That would be in the conversation of current number 1, but not starter.
Yes.
Patrick Mahomes, 15.
Patrick Mahomes, correct. Travis. So plenty of big names on the board.
A lot of big names on the board.
I'm so blanking.
Couple seconds here.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You can bug me. God.
Second strike for Travis. Great.
I want to say Daniel Jones or 17 for the Colts.
That he does. Travis. Down to your last strike here, bud. Love that.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix,
Bo
number
Nix.
10.
Yes, he wears 10. Let's go with Jordan Love, who also wears 10. How many more do we got left?
Got all the number 10s.
There's a lot of 10s.
We've got 7 of the 13. Travis.
Oh God.
No. Okay.
Both of you guys are going to be mad at some of the names.
No, I got my next one. I've been saving this one.
I can't even think of the quarterback name. It's insane. Geno Smith.
That was a massive gray area. What does he wear, 9 or something?
Geno Smith wears
7.
number
He
7
wears
now.
7.
Travis, I am sorry, but that was your third strike. Started off well, too, especially with Braden getting the miss. Go ahead, Braden.
The one that you were probably talking about was Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, number 17, yes.
And then the other one I was thinking was, Caleb Williams was 18.
Caleb, 18.
How many more do we got?
Hold on, so I have them. That's one.
Oh, did we say Trevor Lawrence?
We did not say Trevor
He's
Lawrence.
worth 16.
So I got 3 left.
I don't know what number Jackson Dart wears.
He doesn't. He wears number 6.
Okay, single digit.
That would've been
Tua.
it.
No.
Nope.
No, Tua doesn't do that. CJ Stroud is 9. Bryce Young is a single digit.
There's one in the AFC and one in the NFC.
Lamar, single digit. Justin Fields, single digit. What number does Spencer Rattler wear? He's a single digit too.
He changed his number. I think it was a double digit last year. He just changed.
Stafford wears 9.
Yes. AFC.
Did we say Jared Goff?
No, we did not. That was one of them.
So I need an AFC guy.
AFC North.
AFC North. All right, who's in that division? The Bengals. Joe Burrow wears 9. Aaron Rodgers wears 8. Oh. Is it and Lamar wears a single digit. So it's whoever are you counting? Was it Daniels?
It's Joe Flacco.
Yeah, but he's not there. He's not on the team anymore.
He's starting for.
Yeah, but he's not their number 1. You said Joe Burrow
He was Cleveland's number 1 at the start. He was wearing double digits.
Hold on.
He was wearing double digits. It's still he's gone double.
No, he got traded from the Browns.
He has worn double digit all season, so it doesn't matter.
You said it'd have to be the team's number 1 quarterback. Once he gets traded to Cincinnati, he's no longer the Browns' number 1 quarterback.
What is up with the arguing?
I'm
every
just saying.
Single year?
I'm just saying.
Every single time we do this,
does Dylan Gabriel he wears a single digit? No, I poke holes in your rules.
Every single time.
I'm poking holes in your rules.
And the best part is it's always the argument after he wins too. Like it's over.
Where am I wrong in this?
It's over.
You specifically said,
brother,
quarterbacks that may not be starting, but they're the team's number 1 quarterback.
That was a hint for Brock Purdy.
Can you be the team's number 1 quarterback when you're no longer on the team that you were the number 1 quarterback for? The answer is no. Is Joe Flacco the number 1 quarterback on the Bengals if Joe Burrow is injured? I'm just saying.
You are the worst winner.
No, I'm just saying.
History.
These are the rules. I'm trying to find the. If you can't stick to the rules that you put in, I don't know what to tell you.
Worst winner in human history.
Not even close. Where am I wrong on this? You said specifically.
You can't just take the W. You have to fight it.
No. This is a foul. People are saying foul on Frank. I have to say.
Whatever.
He draws the foul.
I'm trying to find answers here to this question that don't even fit the category of the question that you gave. How can Joe Flacco be the number 1 quarterback in Cleveland when he's not even there anymore? You should have said it. This is what it would. Week 1 number 1 quarterbacks for teams that wear double digits. Because then I would have been like, trick question. Joe Flacco was the number 1 quarterback for Cleveland week 1. Right now, he's in Cincinnati. I'm keeping it real. I agree, Juan. I'm just keeping it real. I'm trying. You know what? Maybe Travis and Carlsbad was going to say Joe Flacco, but you know what? He couldn't because it wouldn't fit the category.
We have San Diego FC news.
We do. Adam Klug.
Big San Diego
or
FC
just
news.
pick better questions. Your boss said that.
Or just pick better questions. You find me better questions.
I had to
It's
find
not like all the
questions
other shows where all the trivia questions have one answer. I need to find trivia questions with multiple answers every day.
I've done that for 4 years.
I'm not saying it's...
I'm not saying it's easy.
Exactly.
But
every other show has
better,
questions with an answer.
I'm telling you, this is actually better than 2 questions ago.
Yeah,
I have to say.
yeah,
It was a lot better than
questions ago.
Hey,
was
by the
not
way,
good.
you could do what Gwynn and Chris does, and you can mix in something that was not sports related. Like, here's what you should do next Friday. Top 10 most popular candies. Simple. Simple.
He tells me this now.
You could have done it. I used to do that.
Brother,
I'm just saying.
I don't listen to you. You know this by now. I don't listen to you.
I do have some news in high school football. It's rough for Minnesota. Red Lake of Minnesota, get this. Since Frank's taking some L's right now, at least you haven't taken 150 in a row.
Jeepers.
Red Lake of Minnesota keeps
Something
head
say.
high in search for first football win since 1999, a streak of 150 consecutive losses. Red Lake lost their last game 77-22. Why even still have a program at that point? 150 straight losses.
You never know who's gonna.
You know what?
You never know who's gonna get recruited.
Let's think
out
about
of
this
that
for a
program.
second. Most kids in college, actually, all kids in college and people out of college have never lived in a world where Red Lake High School in Minnesota won a football game. It hasn't been during their lifetime at all. That's impressive. Losing 150 games in a row since 1999 is impressive. That is very difficult to do. Frank is catching up quickly with his L's on his trivia rules at questions 1 for the top rope. Don't get one started on giving Frank a hard time. He just gets after him. I'm waiting for him to say some type of New York Met jab to throw in there.
Next segment, San Diego FC. One of their star players has had a bit of a tiff, and it's lingering now. And then at the end of the show,
do you want to put that poll question in there?
No, I don't. Because I know it's me.
No, it's not. Have you heard some of Scraby's questions?
I've read some of Scraby's questions.
We got some big San Diego FC news that we're going to get to when we go to break. But you know what? I will say this, Frank.
And we have
at least all of your questions usually have the correct answers. Scraby, you're right. Scraby does only have to come up with questions that have one answer. But when they're mostly wrong, it doesn't help. That's a good bit.
And then
Frank and Scraby question off. Scraby takes the cake. I'm telling you, Scraby would win that battle in the YouTube chat.
And then, to close out the show, we've been teasing this all week.
Oh, the
we are
Holiday Bowl.
finally going to get to the Holiday Bowl, possibly moving to Saudi Arabia.
That's been nixed.
Yeah,
They're not doing
it
that.
has been nixed. But
It
the
was
story came out.
It was an idea.
Yeah, there was an idea there. We will talk about that at 1:30
and explain the reasoning.
However,
when we
coming
come
up
back.
next,
Frank's got some San Diego FC news. That's very important. Braden Surprenant Show. San Diego's #1 sports station. 97 through the Fan. Joe Flacco plays for the Bengals. Adam just he had me on the floor laughing when he came in to talk about them. I don't know what's funnier, him or your mom talking smack on your question. Poor Frank, dude.
I love my job. Doesn't mean I can't hate the people I work with sometimes.
Oh my god.
Bunch of jerks, a lot of you.
I you know what? I'll say it. I mean, the questions that Frank comes up with are creative. I will say that. They are creative. Yeah, Justin, we love you, Frank. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know you do.
Adam walks in. Today, they announced the Silver Sluggers. Ask the question, who's won a Silver Slugger in a Padres uniform? Not how many teams have an isosceles triangle in their logo?
Oh, God.
Which MLB teams have a circle in their logo? That's an oval. What are we? What is
God,
this?
we forgot.
What?
Oh, we were supposed to have Tom Doyle on.
Oh, yeah. You're supposed to call him.
Oh, God.
We could call him in a little bit. Put him out at 1:30.
Yeah, okay.
Let's get to the San Diego FC news. Guy was so rattled by his trivia question. We should have had Tom come in and play. You know what? Don't be the guy that asked on-back guys dumb bleep questions. They'll yell at you. Speaking of dumb bleep questions.
I think that's a rule.
That is a rule at on-back. No dumb bleep questions. You would have failed miserably. We're going to talk about the Holiday Bowl and the news from San Diego FC. Frank, what do we got on San Diego FC today?
Yeah, so
didn't seem very great.
Adam in the chat nailing it. It's the Matt Damon situation.
It's a great bit at this point. Are we going to do this like 8 years from now?
No, I hope not. San Diego FC had news. They did.
We got it for you again.
I do have it. Let's start off with a sound bite here.
All right.
Linking to it. So Ben Woods has had Mikey Varis on
head coach
yesterday.
Of San Diego FC.
Yes, head coach of San Diego FC, Mikey Varis on yesterday. There was some discussion about why Chucky Lozano was not available against the Portland Timbers over the weekend. Question was answered during the press conference, and also Ben Woods asked about it yesterday. Here's what Mikey Varis had to say.
Is everything okay with Chucky? Can we expect him back anytime soon? What is the update there, if there is one?
Yeah, no, we had a situation that we're handling internally, and we'll have an update by the end of the week.
That didn't seem very good.
Yeah, no, that
was very quick.
Great.
That was a very quick answer from Mikey.
According to Tom Bogert on social media, Chucky Lozano's status for San Diego's playoff run, not
the
just
entire run,
not just first match, playoff run, is uncertain. Situation stems from a verbal altercation that happened around Lozano getting subbed out at halftime in their match against Houston 2 games ago. One source says Lozano needs to prove to the locker room how committed he is.
That doesn't sound very good.
This is your premier signing.
Mm-hmm.
This was your big breaking news signing. This was your superstar to get fans in the door. And you now have to see how committed he is to the squad as the number 1 seed for your playoff run. That's interesting.
That's some bad news right there for San Diego FC. I mean, what a distraction that is not necessarily needed.
No, it is not.
Right? So that's tough to that's a massive situation now that drastically impacts what's going on with San Diego FC.
And as Juan Ruiz pointed out in chat just now, yelled and yelled and yelled all season long about Mike Schilt seemingly not holding guys accountable.
Mm-hmm.
This is Mikey Varis doing just that. He is holding your star player accountable for his actions, whether it had been the reason why he got subbed off or about him being subbed off at halftime against the Houston Dynamo. You can't yell this time. He's holding him accountable. You can't have it both ways. You can't want a coach that holds them accountable and then go, not that guy. This is exactly what we were screaming about the Padres needing to do all year long. You can't just say now, this isn't what we meant.
This is exactly what, this is what you got to do. I mean, there's nobody above the team needs to be the attitude, at least with successful teams. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see if he's back. But that's not great news if you're a San Diego FC fan. It's not great news right before you start the playoffs. At least I guess they got the playing games today, right?
Playing games are tonight.
They're
yes.
tonight. And then they start on what? Sunday?
Saturday. San Diego FC plays the 26th, so that's Saturday, yes?
Saturday.
So I think it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday are the first game of this first round.
Right. Now they did just beat Portland 4-0 without Chucky.
Yes.
So
it can be done.
Yeah, maybe
has
you know what?
Happened before.
Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Maybe you'll be better. 26th is Sunday, Nate says.
Whatever. I don't care about
it's this weekend
days anymore. Yeah, it's this weekend. I don't care about days anymore.
Right. Let's talk about this thing real quick because we can get to 33 and then we'll get to Tom and then we'll finish up the show. All right. Holiday Bowl, long San Diego sports tradition facing serious financial difficulties that recently led organizers to explore an unprecedented idea, moving the January 2025 game to Saudi Arabia. Mark Neville, CEO of Sports San Diego, which is the organization that runs the Holiday Bowl, confirmed he traveled to Saudi Arabia in June to discuss logistics for possibly staging the bowl in Jeddah at King Abdullah Sports City Stadium, which holds 60,000 spectators. However, the idea was ultimately blocked by the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, one of the two conferences tied to the game. A lot of the financial reserves for the Holiday Bowl were depleted after COVID-19 canceled the 2020 and 2021 games. The 2021 cancellation after UCLA withdrew just hours before kickoff against NC State caused major losses, leading to a lawsuit against the Pac-12. The Bulls' combined team payout is currently $5.9 million, but it would have been significantly higher if they played in Saudi Arabia due to the lucrative funding proposed. Now, Sports San Diego also currently lacks a title sponsor after its 2-year partnership with DirecTV ended, further straining finances. Neville said the Saudi proposal would have been provided much-needed revenue to keep the bowl sustainable, though he emphasized that, quote, every decision we make is to benefit San Diego. That is 100% true. There are ways now with a lot of different games that are being played internationally for college sports that are benefiting entities that put them on that are not necessarily in that city. You're seeing a lot of these games, like the preseason game that they have. Like Ireland's hosting, they keep hosting these preseason games, like TCU's in it next year, right?
Yes.
There are ways now where you can put on an event like that and make money for the organization that you currently run, which would in turn benefit San Diego in other spots. So what that organization is designed to do is to bring money into San Diego with tourism. Now, they can do events outside of San Diego and still have it bring money into the organization, which would then be used to spread out into different things. Now, they didn't decide to do that. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of questions with the college, especially the universities, about going to a place like Saudi Arabia. I mean, I think that scares a lot of people. But the idea was, and just trying to pursue and see if they could put something off, was this is a way for the organization to potentially keep operations going in San Diego. So it's an interesting play. I mean, if Saudi Arabia is trying to find ways to get college games there, I mean, and on top of a lot of other things, I mean, who knows what they're trying to bring over to Saudi Arabia. Now, here's a couple of things with, money This has all been reported in Kirk Kenny's article they had earlier this week. Holiday Bowl receives a $400,000 grant from the San Diego Tourism Marketing District to help fund the game. To receive this grant, the event must be held within San Diego and increase overnight visitors to the city. Neville has stated that if the bowl had been moved abroad, Sports San Diego would have returned the grant money. In 2024, the event generated 15,000 hotel room nights and $18 million in local economic impact. That organization does a lot of great things to bring a lot of tourism to San Diego and bring a lot of money flow in terms of booking hotel rooms. But it was definitely interesting to see in the news that it was like, so Saudi Arabia was interested in having this game. But again, like, it's a little, this is where like the stadium, like your Snapdragon Stadium kind of has hurt the Holiday Bowl because it's not big enough to be able to put together, a bid that's going to get bigger teams. With the college football playoff expanding, it makes it a lot more difficult, obviously. And like with bowl games, and the thing that's interesting about bowl games is, and I'm being on both sides of this, it's a format that was designed to bring tourism to cities during a time of year where people don't travel as much. That's the whole idea of a bowl game. But in this day and age of college athletics, it's interesting to see how those those are becoming obsolete in the sense of like kids wanting to play in them. And so now it's the pivot of trying to find ways where you could do said games or bowl games where it benefits the cities. Now, I always thought, and I view it from a football standpoint, not a tourism standpoint. What you have to do is you got to view this thing from a tourism standpoint. That's why these things exist, is to benefit the towns that put these things on. It's not for like the betterment of college football or the betterment of like college basketball. I always thought in this particular time, with this day and age of college football, that it would be more fun to have, and this is from a football standpoint, not a tourism standpoint. This is why it doesn't work. I'm going to explain in a second. If you have all the bowl games, see if you can follow along with me, Frank, on this. All the bowl games that exist that are not part of the college football playoff.
Yes.
And you can even make more bowl games. I don't really care. But as long as like all these teams are involved, they have their bids with their conferences or whatever it may be. And in May or June or whenever you want to do it, April or May, kind of spark, you do a TV show where all the bowl games draft teams and put together matchups for their bowl game. That will start week 1. During Labor Day weekend, and you can have games all week long because it's Labor Day weekend. You start games on Wednesday, go to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and have all these bowl games and have all these marquee matchups at the beginning of the year. Every team only plays 11 games now on the schedule, or like they'll have one less non-conference game that they get to pick, and then on top of that, everybody they get to play in a bowl game where the bowl committees pick the best matchups possible, and you find out in May where you might be going for a city. And then you go and you play the game the first week of September. I think that's a great idea. What do you think?
So you're talking about moving the bowl game.
All the bowl
to the
games are week
beginning of
1.
the year.
At the beginning of the year, and it's not like you qualify for it. Those bowl committees they have a draft order for when they get to pick certain conferences. You match up and do the same thing, and you get to do it based on the preseason rankings that everybody loves so much. And so you could put together like week 1.
I would do that, but I would do it at the end of the year. Like I would keep the same system you have now, but you make the production out of it for the end of the year for like your championship game kind of thing.
What do you mean?
Instead of like a preseason thing.
You draft it at the end of the year?
Yeah. Like you draft
But you're not going to know what those teams are going to be the next year. That's why you wait till May. Wait for spring ball to be over after the transfer portal. And so you know more likely what the team's going to look like. That's why I said do it in May. Also, if you do it in the offseason, it gives college football another eyeball during a month that nobody's paying attention to college football. It's like the NFL does their draft in April.
Yeah, you could do it. Yeah, I guess.
Now, here's the problem with that, though, Frank.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that, though, is it doesn't benefit tourism because people are already coming to San Diego Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People are already traveling Labor Day weekend. There's already all these hotels that are already booked. That's not the point of the bowl games. The point of the bowl games is not for football. The point of the bowl games is to drive tourism. And in December, that's a slower month for us in San Diego. And the Holiday Bowl has done a great job at bringing people here and having one of the best games and putting on one of the best events. And right now, the thing that's difficult is how everything has been playing out in college football, where kids don't want to participate in bowl games. They're opting out of bowl games. They have all these extra games in the playoff, which is great for football, but it's not great for the bowl system that is built on driving tourism to San Diego. So they're doing a great job of trying to think outside the box and trying to continue to fill hotel rooms here in San Diego. That's why they have that new basketball tournament, Rady's Children's, bringing more tourism here to San Diego during Thanksgiving week. They've done a great job with that. And here's the other thing, too. It's a multi-team event for college basketball. Coaches don't want to participate in these 3-4 game events of playing in a tournament. A multi-team event, you play 2 games against ranked opponents. You get to go to San Diego. You don't have to fly to Hawaii. You don't have to, deal with your kids in Vegas. It's a great location. It's going to be one of the best non-conference basketball tournaments there is, or invitationals, MTEs. So when talking about this, I mean, you got to keep all options open for potential finding ways to drive tourism to San Diego, because that's what it's not just the Holiday Bowl. I mean, this is every bowl entity that's not involved with the college football playoff. And if we had the facilities for it, who knows? Maybe we would be hosting college football playoff games. This is why I hate to say I was right, but this is why I said before the stadiums were being built, don't build it small just for one thing. Keep your options open so you can host major events. Don't limit yourself because, San Diego State doesn't need 75,000 seats. A soccer team doesn't need 75,000 seats. Yeah, but guess what does? Major events. Selling yourself short. San Diego's been doing that for years. That's why we have the airport that we have. Thank God we got an upgraded terminal. It's one runway, but you know what? It looks pretty when you're landing. Awful decisions sometimes from our city. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. When we come back, Tom Doyle of On Back's going to join us about a big event that's going on down in the South Bay that involves pickleball and some other things that's coming up on November 14th. We'll get you an update on what that is, and we'll finish up with, if we got any more information on Albert Pujols and his situation with his interview today with the Padres. Keep you updated. Braden Surprenant Show, final segment when we come back. San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Biggest Fan Contest returns on Monday, November 3rd. Our grand prize is a night in the Odyssey Suite with 20 tickets for you and your friends to watch a future Padres game with the whole fan staff. Register your name at 97throughthefansd.com/biggest-fan and listen when we announce names each day at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5:30 p.m. for your chance to qualify. Always a great time. Rod won it last year. We'll see who can win it this year. Joining us now on our David P. Shapiro fan hotline, which all guests on 97 Through the Fan join us on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Tom Doyle from On Back joining us right now, as there is an event coming up on November 15th that On Back is putting on, Old Mission Beach Athletic Club. It will start at 9 a.m. For a check-in. Start time is at 10 a.m., but it sounds like it's going to be some pickleball and cornhole, and always great to talk with Tom about different events in San Diego. Tom, what's going on? How's your Wednesday going?
My Wednesday's going great, Braden. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's talk about some things that On Back does. Obviously, it's not just over the line. Obviously, in the summertime, it's very popular for over the line, the big tournament in July. I know you guys do other over the line tournaments throughout the year, but you guys also put on other events in the community. And coming up, you got pickleball and cornhole. Tell us a little bit more about how this started and why you guys are doing this event.
Absolutely. So the main thing that everyone knows from us is our World Championship Over the Line tournament in the summer, and that's our main fundraiser that we have as a club to help us put money towards our charitable efforts. You know, we work with Rady's Children's Hospital, Armed Services YMCA. Now we're working with the Chula Vista Fire Department Heritage Foundation, among other local nonprofits and different groups in San Diego to support youth and amateur athletics, education, different community events, things like that. So we put on a number of events. Most of them are over the line related. We have a surf contest we do in September called Surf. And then this year, we're excited to work with the fire department to help them put on an event they did last year. So we're kind of taking over the event. It's called On Back on Third. It's replacing their pickleball tournament they had last year. We're shutting down 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista from E Street to F Street. We're going to have cornhole on one whole city block, and then our beer buggy serving cold drinks in the middle of the intersection. And then the other city block is going to be pickleball courts. So we'll have two distinct tournaments running at the same time. It's open to all ages. Stores on 3rd Avenue will be open if someone wants to walk in and buy something from their local shops, go and get a bite to eat or a drink at one of the establishments there. But we'll also have drinks out on the street for people. Have to be 21 with ID to buy. But it's going to be a super fun day down here on 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista. It's a new type of event for On Back, so we're a little skittish going into it because it's a new city we're working with and it's a new type of event, block party type situation. So we're riding with the ebbs and flows of the permit process with the city of Chula Vista, and we're excited to get some teams signed up for the pickleball and cornhole event.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun event. I mean, you kind of briefly touched on it, but how did this come about with you guys partnering with the fire department down there and putting together this particular, something that you guys haven't really worked with before? I mean, how did this all kind of come about?
Yeah, so the fire department actually came to us to ask with if we would be interested in helping them actually run the actual tournament piece, the bracketing, the gameplay, run pool play, run the elim brackets. We're so used to that from over the line tournaments that we put on. So it seemed like a natural fit for us to be able to help out with that. So I got a call from one of the guys down here with the Chula Vista Fire Department, and they asked me if we'd be interested. I talked to some guys in OMBAC, and they said, well, this sounds like something we could do if we were interested in having an event. So I pulled some of the members that I trust and said, hey, what do you guys think about doing this? And they said, well, it sounds pretty low impact and could be a real fun event for the club to extend our reach into the South Bay, San Diego County area. At the same time, help us as a club raise money for our charitable efforts that we do all year long, and also be able to dedicate a portion of proceeds can go direct to the Heritage Foundation for the work they do with their community support, family support of firefighters. They're actually restoring what's called the Goose. It's their 1923 Seagrave fire engine. It's an engine identical to our own OMBAC fire engine. So it's kind of cool that we're doing an event that's going to help the foundation that's trying to restore an engine just like ours.
We're talking to Tom Doyle from OMBAC, who is joining us to talk about the OMBAC on Third pickleball tournament. It's benefiting the fire department down in Chula Vista. It will be on 3rd Avenue in Chula Vista, November 15th, 9 a.m. check-in, 10 a.m. start. It's going to be round-robin play, then single elimination tourney for both pickleball and cornhole. And you said open for all ages. I mean, a couple of OMBAC events over the summertime, right? No babies counts as nobody under the age of 21, but this is something that you can bring your family to, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. This is a community event for Chula Vista that OMBAC's putting on. We are going to have alcohol being sold from OMBAC to people that are at the event. Again, 21 and up with ID. So we will have, streets will be blocked off. So we'll have security watching that alcohol doesn't, no outside alcohol comes in and none of ours goes out. But at the same time, we welcome people that are playing the pickleball tournament to bring their family down. You can sit and watch your loved ones or friends play. If you're in the area, cruise on through, grab a drink, watch some games, cornhole or pickleball, and just come out, have a good time out on 3rd Avenue and see what the block has to offer.
I'm sure we have a lot of listeners that might want to just come down and hang out and watch some pickleball and also watch some cornhole. And I'm sure we got a lot of listeners that would want to participate. So where can you get signed up for this event? How much longer can you get signed up for? What's the cutoff date? And how do you go about the process of trying to be involved with this event?
Sure. So if you go to our OMBAC social media channels, best one's probably our Instagram at OMBACSD. We've got a flyer up on there. We're working on getting it posted to our website at ombac.org just because it's a new event. So we got to do some behind the scenes web design. Go to our social media channels and then you can see the flyer with the link and the registration option there. You can also go to events.com and search for OMBAC and the events will come up there. We're trying to cut off registration about a week before. So a little over 2 weeks left to get our teams and players for cornhole registered just so we can build out brackets as easily as possible without too much stress. But again, if we've got some spots left that last week leading up to it, we'll hold registrations open till the very end. If it helps get people signed up to help us out with this event and participate and have a good time. So yeah, so come on down, check it out with us. If you're all interested in playing pickleball, it's a social event. We're not doing any crazy stats with rated players and mixing teams. You sign up as a team, play who you get put up against. Just trying to have some fun out here. And we're actually excited because we reached out to Selkirk, which is one of the largest pickleball companies that exist, and they are happily sponsoring this event, making it an official Selkirk Pro pickleball event. So we can brag that the first time we're doing something new, we have a big dog in the fight helping us make sure this tournament goes correctly with the right products and equipment.
That's awesome, Tom. We appreciate you taking some time to tell us about this event. Look forward to talking to you again. And thanks again for putting on a lot of community events with you guys in OMBAC.
No problem. Happy to help the community and excited to see what these Padres insider rumors are.
Yeah, that's right. Tom Doyle joining us on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. A big thanks to Tom. He does a great job with OMBAC. OMBAC always puts on a lot of great events here in town to help benefit San Diego. This hour on 97th The Fans brought to you by IHOP. Introducing the IHOP value menu where all of your breakfast faves are just $6 each. Every day. Where else can you get a big filling sit-down breakfast for only $6? Go to your Happy Plates with the $6 IHOP value menu available every day at IHOP, $7 in some locations. Do we have any recent news about
nothing that I've seen?
Albert Pujols today?
I've been scouring. There's nothing that I have seen, anything coming out of the interview today. So whether it be just hasn't come out, hasn't happened yet, still in the process of happening, Not quite sure yet.
There's a video that surfaced yesterday from Tennessee's scrimmage that they had. Tony Vitello saying "love you" to a bunch of volunteer fans in the stands and everything like that. Looks like it's a farewell goodbye as he was announced as the Giants' new manager today. Bob Nightingale reporting that Tony Vitello is taking a pay cut to be the manager of the Giants. Isn't that just how crazy college athletics is? Guy's the head coach at a D1 university, Power 4 program in the SEC, is taking a pay cut to be the manager of the historic San Francisco Giants. Guy's taking a pay cut.
Out of control.
It's crazy.
It's not college athletics anymore. It's a professional sport.
It's been professional for a long time. Gwynn and Chris coming up next. I can't believe we've made it through Wednesday already.
I know, right?
So basically the weekend for us. Coming up tomorrow's show, Skyler, Eddie Brown, the usual football stuff, getting ready for the weekend in professional sports. World Series is on Friday. Still got a lot to get to this week. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. Signing off. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 to the Fan.